I got it.
Sorry, Todd.
Well,
No,
Todd
it's
will, Todd will go off the album.
Yeah, he can do it.
Dennis, you have your hand up?
Yes, on that section that you just changed, the city council may appoint a member pursuant of section 6? Should that be pursuant to?
Yes, of course it
Yeah.
should be, pursuant. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
And
did you
it's-
guys?
It's after
miss that?
30 days.
There was a chance.
After 30 days.
If after, yeah, if
The current situation, obviously, there's been more than enough time, so that's not the issue. But if there was to be one that we were to have without warning, it's not like we keep a list of people who are ready to step up. So having enough time to
30
talk to
days is a
people,
lot.
it's not a lot of time.
60.
60, 90, what are you guys thinking?
So, Chair, so after, I think you want to say, if after 30 days of the creation of the vacancy and the school board fails to
He's
appoint,
unable to.
well, just fails to appoint, or to fails to fill the vacancy.
I think 60 is sufficient, or should it be longer?
That's fine. What are the current terms?
Yeah, 60.
3 years?
What is it for vacancies for the council?
I'm sorry?
Do we have a time for filling the council
No.
vacancies?
No.
No,
So here, if we put 60,
Yeah, I would.
60 is
Well,
fine. Yeah,
yeah.
30 is a little quick.
Thursday's kind of
'Cause you
quick,
gotta- you have
especially when
to
you only
warn
meet
it.
once a month.
Well,
You have to
and,
warn it, you have to do stuff, yeah.
and if we want them to come to meetings, we want them to be able to come to a couple, you know, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
So it sounds like there should be some communication going on at that point between the school board and the council. Because you would want to know, I would think, from the school board, what they're looking for in terms of a person. You don't want to have it just be, let's say, a corporate business person who's worked for IBM all of his life, or a computer nerd who. You want somebody who has some affinity with some of the school issues. So they mentioned
Maybe.
attendance.
maybe. You need somebody
Attendance
with common
at
sense,
a
for sure.
school board meeting would be a condition, maybe a qualification. And they may have a series of qualifications that you might agree on, so that you're not just picking just,
Well, we use
anybody.
the word appoint a qualified person. How more, what else can we, what
I'm
else?
just saying.
Oh, I hear what you're
You
saying.
can't write in their
Guys,
charter,
who
after
decide.
several discussion with the school board
Yeah, I mean, for
on
the
what
sake
they
of-
want for them and that, I mean, you're gonna be,
We don't do that when we send it out for election.
we
There's
don't
some-
do
people
it
don't list
when
their
we appoint a
qualifications
council.
on the ballot,
No,
so-
they just,
I mean, I understand where you're
I
coming
get
from. Hopefully,
it,
they'll
too.
do their due diligence
Okay.
and do that.
I think qualifications are more along, like you said, like the Charles Manson running for the position kind of thing. It's more along those lines. I know that one of the districts in the southern part of the state had 2 people, and they didn't appoint either of them because they didn't meet their what they decided was
So now that
qualifications.
means-
So my guess is the result of this, so if we say 60 days, and the school board's aware of it at that point, then they're not gonna let it go for a year and a half, they're gonna go out and find somebody.
yes.
And there's a lot of retired teachers, there's a lot of qualified people
There
in
are.
Newport City that could serve on that board.
Right.
I just don't think it's being pursued, if it's been allowed to go on this long, and I don't think that's good for the city. 'Cause
This isn't directly related to the charter, but just for my own personal edification. Do you guys have formal qualifications for who can serve on the school board, or is it kind of determined per case
It's
basis?
elected,
It's elected, so
Yeah.
so it's whoever,
Charles Manson could be elected.
Okay.
but then he won't stay on because he won't get bonded.
Now,
But for appointments, I mean.
Yeah.
So in a
Yeah.
situation where you have to appoint, you don't have like a list of formal.
Yeah, does California? Do you think?
I
Yeah, I don't know if any state does.
There is a new thing in the state called district quality standards, and, you know, so where boards, they're looking for boards to be, you know, following certain criteria.
Protocols
Yes, so it is becoming,
there.
you know, there is more to it.
They're starting to require, well, I don't think they're requiring, they're starting to offer training
Yes,
that you can attend for free. At some point, they may want to require
Oh, it's state statute, they have to.
for school boards.
Yep. I
Well,
read
then
that
there
this
you
morning,
go.
because you're going on a retreat or something for training, aren't you?
well, we do a
It's
retreat
not a
every
training.
year, not so much for training, but just
Bonding? I
give
mean,
us a chance to,
For the pizza.
yeah. No, not for,
It's not a retreat, it's from the central office.
we go to
that's all.
central office and we have a chance to.
Oh, that's not a retreat, don't use the word retreat.
Talk about,
That's not a retreat.
talk about
That's a bond.
It's a time to step back and talk about the big picture and not just
So,
the issue of the month or the week.
okay,
Yeah.
where are we at on this? 'Cause this is.
Okay, this is, good. Yeah, here we're going,
Yeah.
all right. So we have the introduction paragraph now of the exclusive management and control of the school, and all school property is vested in a board of 5 school trustees.
Mhm.
Going to be residents of the city and qualified voters for this, and qualified voters for school. Said trustees shall be bona fide residents of the city and qualified voters for the school board members. That does not sound good to
No.
me. And qualified voters, period. Because it said
oh,
trustees.
yeah, they have to be.
Right, Mike?
Yeah, I don't
Is that
think,
language all right? I'm at the very beginning
I
now.
don't think you need that last 4 or 5 words.
Did we ever decide that the exclusive management and control of the public schools
Well, we-
is vested in the board of the 5 school trustees? Do you have exclusive management
The
and
exclusive
control
management
of the
control,
public
yes,
school?
yes,
Of our school, yeah.
yes.
Not the advisory union?
Oh,
No, because
we
we're
don't.
independent. We're not,
Our, but
For now.
we're, our school.
For now, unless
Not the
act whatever.
supervisory union.
Oh,
We're-
but you have exclusive and management and control of your school.
The school
The
board.
the advisory union does not dictate in any way what your school does.
well, curriculum is,
Yeah, I mean,
That's state
they're
too.
involved, they're involved, because we're part of the city, but we're also part of the supervisory union, so,
Well,
you know.
they have to follow state statutes.
Right.
That doesn't exclude them from managing.
Is there,
So maybe you should get rid of the
I
exclusive,
think we might be asking.
and what other word do we put there?
just say the
Just the
management and
management.
Just the
control.
management?
Are there situations where you have ever found yourself in conflict with the SU requirements?
Oh, yeah.
What would they, which would take precedent in that case?
Remember when we had Bob?
It just depends, like state statute divides whose responsibility it is, and so, yes, we could, do something that the SU wouldn't necessarily recommend if it was the school board's discretion to do that. But there are other things that, are specifically written in the power to do something is given to the superintendent of schools. So it's divided that way.
So yeah, I feel like exclusive might not be the right word then.
Yeah, so I'll just get rid of it.
Yeah.
And just say the management and control of the public schools and all school properties, but da-da-da. That sound all right, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, then the next part goes into, in the event of a vacancy on the board of trustees, I'll go through and put in, whatever, the school board. The school board shall, by majority vote of those present and voting, appoint a qualified person to fill a vacancy in the school board. If after 60 days of the creation of the vacancy, and we don't need and, the school board fails to fill the vacancy, the city council may appoint a member pursuant of section 6C of this charter.
Okay, so
Okay, help me there.
what, if we write it this way, you're creating ambiguity, because
Yeah.
6C does a lot more than just
Yeah.
allow the council to appoint.
Right.
So if you do that, if you leave it this way, then are the voters able to petition the way we have it written in there? We also have, a half year. If it's a half year, the council shall instead of may. All of the things that we wrote in 6C do they pertain to that when we say the city council may appoint? Or should we be saying,
Maybe you should refer to 6C, maybe you
That's
should.
what I'm-
well, I think you want 6C, but
Or,
not call out the city council, just call out 6C. Then, you know, maybe,
So then just the conditions of 6C in general,
Yeah,
including petitioning and all of that, you think?
okay, or I think you could say that 6C, as provided in 6C or something, just, I have to think about how to word it, but, yeah.
City council, or just say, so if after 60 days of the creation of the vacancy, the school board fails to fill the vacancy.
see, 6C is under the duties of the city council,
Right,
which is appointing vacancies.
right, but
Okay, I
That's-
see, yeah,
you know
but
what I'm
then we go
saying,
into more
C-
detail on that.
goes into a lot of detail on how that happens.
It does provide the board with protection, though. If they really have an objection to the person who's appointed, they could go out and get the petition and call the election.
Anybody could.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right, I'm just saying, I
That if
mean,
you,
it
if
provides
you utilize that, 6C, then, the public could go out and get a petition, 25 voters, and call for a special election.
if more than half the terms.
Right,
Which
yeah.
in this case would be a year and a half, right?
Okay.
What if it just said a member, or would it still be wrong or in violation of 60 that said a member will be appointed per the.
Pursuant to-
Pursuant to 60, or
Yeah.
would that work?
I think
Maybe
so.
just take the city council part out of it.
Yeah.
And what do we put in there instead to make that flow? The school board fails
The
to fill the
vacancy may be filled
The
pursuant to
vacancy.
6, to
That's better,
6C.
because it's not an appointment, it
Right.
might be an election.
Right.
special
Yeah.
election.
May appoint a member pursuant.
No, maybe,
Vacancy may be filled.
may be
No,
filled
I'm doing this. The vacancy may be filled.
pursuant to section 6C.
Filled pursuant of.
So what's in the city charter is inadequate, I would say, for you to govern yourself as a board. So you must have some founding document that you're working under. What is that? You have a constitution and bylaws, or what governs how you act as a board? 'Cause there's nothing really in the city
You
charter
just change
about
the up
that.
to a 2 chair.
In terms of like,
Two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that comes from the state, like
Section
there's,
6C.
there's a state board of education and they,
We need of this term.
and we just follow the rules that
Leave
are
it
there.
there,
So like,
it wouldn't hurt.
we have to adopt an open meeting law policy,
That's
like
state
those things
statute.
are all written in state statutes, so we just
Okay,
follow
so you
that.
just defer to state statute?
Yeah, so every time when we do a reorganization meeting after the, town meeting day elections, we have certain positions we have to re-vote on. We have like certain things that we have to do, which papers we're gonna report to, who's gonna assign the tuition rate, all those things are, we have to reorganize and do that. Yeah, that comes from this. Just a point on a previous conversation where you asked about the school board and the bonding. So all school board members are part of the Vermont School Board Insurance Trust and in the state of Vermont, and that is who insures the school board members.
So that's all,
They're a part of a separate organization, it's not necessarily the school.
Right.
Although the school pays a membership.
to that, just
To
like
that.
we do Vermont League of City and Town.
And that includes the board members. So
It's
they're-
exclusively for.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
it's, oh, okay.
It's the Vermont School Board Insurance
Oh,
Trust.
okay.
Is that,
Okay,
No, no, that you want to strike the issue of, in case there's multiple vacancies on the board, on how the board operates.
oh, should we keep that? If there are vacancies in a majority of the members of the city school board at the same time, the vacancies shall be filled by a special school district meeting called for that purpose. Do you think that should stay in there?
I think it gives direction to how,
if there's a majority?
if there's a
Yeah, if
majority
you
of
have
school
all of
board
a
members
sudden
that.
everyone
that-
quits
I
because they
think the
don't
problem,
like.
if we don't have a majority, is there's no one who can
Right,
call that meeting or run that meeting. I know that.
exactly, you need some mechanism to be.
Right.
Otherwise, if you lose all of them, then the Secretary of State's office takes over.
Right, and that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the current, the Secretary of State would take over. That's the current.
But if you wound up with two, you lose your ability to have a quorum.
Yes.
And so you need a mechanism to be able to call for a meeting
Correct.
and also to process warrants before an election happens.
Right, to keep paying our bills.
Yeah.
So then that next sentence also needs to be unstricken, Sharon?
The remaining board members?
Yeah. Do you want me to do it?
Okay, you do it, yeah.
Okay.
One problem that I see with referring it to the mechanism of 6C is that if they're missing 1 of 5 of the board, and there's more than half of a term left to be, let's see, if there's less than, in one instance, as you set it up, Travis, to begin with, and I'm forgetting which, a special election is automatically called.
Yes, if there's more than half the term.
So if there's more than half of their term left, you're going to have a city election for getting a new member of the board. That's sort of a hefty load to put on the city for the election of just a school board member.
Why is that different than city council?
Well, I mean, the city council deals with a lot more issues than I would think the school, well, I'm just suggesting.
But when you look at the school and look at the school budget and how much, I mean, to me, it's almost apples to apples. And
Okay,
that's
When
where
you
I
look at
look
the
at
budget
it,
to
that
budget.
you
I can live with it.
you really want a full board, no matter if it's a council or if it's a school board, because you need those voices to be heard. That's my opinion, I don't.
I agree with you, I agree with you.
I probably agree with you now too.
And I'm very hesitant to lean heavily on appointments. That's why the half the term thing, I think elected officials should be elected. They're representatives of the people, and, yeah.
I agree with you too. Thank you.
We're in
So
section
currently
three.
appointments are appointed till the next
Election,
and,
they can choose to run or not run.
right, and they are, whatever spot it is, determines whether it's 3-2 or 1.
Yeah, exactly, right.
On that,
Yeah.
for that vote.
That's how I did it,
Okay,
so.
so, Mike, are we okay with how this looks now from your point of view, legislative point of view?
I think so right now, just.
Okay, so then it continues on to, we've already talked about this, the annual report part.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I do just have one quick question.
That's okay.
So we did strike out the last part, which we don't actually have to strike that out, we can just delete it because that was.
Oh, that was you.
But
That was
before
not
you do,
council.
before you do that,
Mhm.
do we need to add language, so because we struck this out because above we put if after 60 days of the creation of the vacancy, et cetera. Do we need though to still give somebody the ability to pay checks and things there?
I think we did.
Well, we
The
did.
remaining board members or members are authorized to draw orders for payment of continuing obligations and necessary expenses until a majority of the vacancies are filled.
Does that cover? Okay,
Yeah, that covers it.
okay.
So then that last sentence can
Just
go,
delete
because
it.
that was your wording.
Yeah.
That was not the original charter.
And I'm gonna unhighlight it now too, since we're done with it.
Okay? That's added in now. Oh, it's all gonna be in blue though.
You got it?
I got it.
Pretty good.
Blue because it's new wording and it's not original. All right, now, the last, we've talked about bonding, and we've talked about reporting. The last thing,
Ownership.
Ownership, we went into,
Oh, yeah.
you guys came. I still don't get it.
What
Who
part of
owns
it?
the building?
You do,
The city owns the building,
yeah.
We have a lease.
and you lease it.
So, has anybody seen the lease? Because I tried to get it from Jim and couldn't find it.
Just did it like a year ago.
Do you know what's in it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Who would have it?
So,
Maybe in the
with-
city manager's office.
Oh, maybe Carrie's the one you should have
Right.
gone to.
yeah,
You want
Did it
to
ever get
ask?
drafted up? I don't know.
irregardless of what it is, we can make it whatever we want. Probably ought to be something saying that City of Newport owns the building and shall lease, so it requires, so that another council can't say, well, I hate the school, why don't you pay us $5,000 a year? But shall, lease the building for $1, whatever, and make it clear that the school income pays the
Maintenance
maintenance
and
and upkeep
operations.
and operation.
Because you guys do handle all that.
And if we had just that one sentence in there, that would take care of everything. And then if our lease doesn't say that, then they have to create a new lease. Because it should say it.
Does that
And then-
sound right to you? Does that,
Yeah.
what was the, so the big issue, from what I understand, was getting insurance on the building that you didn't own or something? What, explain that to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be kept separate, right? And so really, you're not supposed to own the building.
Right.
It's supposed to be kept separate. It's supposed to be the responsibility of,
Who's not supposed to own the
the
building?
city is not supposed, the city's not supposed to own it because,
We're not supposed to own it.
yeah, our insurance won't insure a building that the school doesn't own.
But Rutland,
And your insurance won't insure a school because it's written into your insurance that you can't insure schools. So,
oh, it
and
is?
also, yeah, so, yeah, this is going back 2 years ago when we sorted some of this out.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
piece
the-
I didn't understand,
Your
okay?
lawyer did it, so I would check in with him, but like, you're not allowed to, you couldn't insure it. So no one would insure it. It excluded us from grants, for safety grants, for improvements or upgrades, because we weren't the owners of the building. So, it's very rare that the town owns the building.
Who would own it?
We raise the funds for the others.
The board,
So who does, so
The school district.
That's
which
the
is the
piece.
supervisory.
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
It's still, the district is controlled by the board, yes.
Well, the elementary
The
school
district
its
is a
own
separate
district.
organization, and the school board members are the ones who are elected to operate that district.
Then state statutes refers to an incorporated school district. Is that what we are?
I think,
Probably.
I think we're a town school district.
City.
So when I Googled what is an incorporated school district, it says it's a local public
I
school.
mean, it's registered with the state as a district, and I think that's what incorporated.
It says an incorporated school district is a local public school system legally established as a corporate entity or political subdivision with its own governing board, tax authority, and defined geographic boundaries. It functions independently to manage public education separate from general city or county governments. Isn't that what we are?
So a school district.
When you guys refer to
And this is
state,
too important for me to be taking guesses about this kind of stuff. I
so
don't feel
you,
comfortable
you've
doing that.
referred to.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I was just
Yeah, I don't
saying
think
that's
we're
what
gonna
state
change that in the
statutes
charter.
has in there.
I think it might matter though simply because you've referred to the fact that you guys are governed by state statute, that's what you refer to for many parts of the governance of your district. Are you, what part of state statute are you referring to
For what specifically?
for the governance of the district? I mean, I guess that's where you would find out if you were an incorporated district or a town district, because those are separate classifications under
Yeah.
state statute.
How about Coventry,
You're-
Mike, do you know?
Does that matter for the charter?
These,
Before-
some of the stuff is
Before we
way
get
beyond
wild
the scope
off
of
in
Mary
the-
Ellen or my role.
Yeah,
Those are questions you
this
need
is-
to ask
I-
higher up than us.
I mean, there's a reason why it might matter, and I know this from, so we, obviously as a private school, we don't, state statute isn't.
Part of your,
Yeah, but-
requirements.
So we have a constitution, and one of the things in the board's constitution for the school is that, it's the very last, section, is that in the event that we were to dissolve, it states what happens to all of the property, and very specifically. It doesn't go to anybody in the school. My concern is if this isn't addressed properly, I have no problem with it being, I mean, it sounds like they should hold the property, but it was a city asset, it still is a city asset, and there should be, if they had their own governance document in addition to state statute, just like we have a charter that can go beyond state statute, that said if that school were to shut down for whatever reason, that property reverts back to the ownership of the city, then the city isn't losing anything. And they, they just transfer it over to the school board has it, as long as it exists, it's theirs. But if it ever doesn't, the city gets their land and building back.
So that, I understand that's probably important, but I'm not sure it should be in the charter, because if we already own it, are we gonna write in this charter that they have to sell it to the school? If we're not, then I don't know why it's, I don't know why.
We also have in the current charter, before any of this update, saying, there's a clause in there about selling. You can't sell property. Well, the current uses the value of $1,000 without voter approval.
Yeah.
So you get a whole nother issue here too.
The only thing I would say is that like about 2 years ago, you paid your lawyer a lot of money and we paid our lawyer a lot of money, and this is their area of expertise, and they sorted it out. And before, maybe they didn't get to the conclusion that, because we weren't writing a new charter at the time,
Yep.
but they have spent a lot of time looking at it, and I would just advise
Who
that.
represented the city, do you remember? Was it John Manette, or did they go with their city,
No,
their
it
city
was-
lawyers?
Someone on the screen. It
Again, do
wasn't
you
John.
remember this?
I just would maybe pause on this exact spot
Yeah.
and get some
I would
advice,
ask.
because otherwise
I don't
we're,
think it matters. I
So-
just don't think it
In terms of what?
matters.
In the charter?
Unless we're gonna change the ownership in this charter, I don't think it matters. We didn't do that. Must be they decided at that point not to change the ownership to the school, or they would have done so.
I think it was, yeah, but I'm not sure that it wasn't just a stopgap measure
Were you part of that,
to
Jennifer?
allow us to continue.
No, we're getting copies. It has turned out.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay. As soon as we get copies, we'll bring them on. Well, you can thank Carrie.
I appreciate
And the
her
public
very-
documents request she
I
found
think
it
going
in.
down a rabbit hole. You can do that.
I'm going to put in here ownership.
I think these are really important things to get figured out, because when we're talking about school unifications and we're talking about consolidations of districts and unions and everything like that, I think that you would want to have that language.
Well, that's with the state.
Yeah.
Mike,
If
you're
we have
looking.
forced mergers and stuff, what happens to the property if we
Yeah.
become part of a larger district or union?
David Bruce Group.
Well, if the city owns it, then the city
Not
may
John
change.
Manette.
It was David Bruce. John, Mike, what were you thinking?
I think, I mean, if you put something in here, about the city transferring property over, voters have to vote for the charter. That would happen, it's still through the vote of the city. If you don't add it, it seems like a workaround's been found. If there's unification that happens, you deal with it at the time.
Yeah, I guess if we just don't talk about ownership, I'm trying to think of a reason that it would be important to leave it in the charter. It does give the district and everybody a lot of flexibility to, but I'm trying to think, so like Rutland's situation, how they've addressed it in their charter makes no sense.
I couldn't figure
Because
it out either.
it's the first subclause is in contradiction to the second, as far as I can tell. So I can't find a good example of anybody who has outlined this in their charter in a way that makes sense. And
Well-
I'm trying to think of a reason why it needs to be in the charter.
Well, because if they do the consolidations that the state is looking at,
You're still gonna be,
what
still
happens
has to
then?
be citywide road. I mean, voters have to vote on these consolidations as well. So,
And you can't sell a building to the school through the trigger. You can't.
yeah.
We're overstepping our
And we
bounds.
haven't. And as of right now, the city owns the school. So if, like, they unify and they went to a different building, that building would presumably just revert back to the city, right?
Right. So what do we put in here then?
Nothing.
I
don't think you need
Let's
anything.
not,
Anything,
let's
nothing.
not address it and then
Thank you so much, Jennifer.
But,
As long as we have a
you
deed
can tell a
somewhere,
lawyer
it's
it's
not
three
that
pages
important.
long for the lease.
I've never had a lease shorter than 3 pages.
From the city to the state. It's like you would if you were giving it to.
yeah, does that work? Are you
It
happy with it? I mean,
Yeah,
That's what
I
we're
mean, it
doing.
works.
Maintenance is in there.
yeah, everything's in here.
Insurance is in there, so we're protected, the city's protected, because the school has to pay the.
And so you don't think that it should be in the charter that we are leasing, no, just leave it alone?
Just a city building, that's all.
Leave it alone then. Have we covered everything?
No,
Uh-oh, now what?
no, maybe we can. Maybe that was.
So you notice we're on 39 out of 42. We've done this from 1 to 39,
That was
all
a-
summer.
It's a lot of work.
And the 8 to 10 meetings didn't last long. It was been 8 to noon most of the time.
Yeah, we may not need it anymore.
I'm happy with it. Mike, in your expertise, is there anything that we're missing, do you think? How about you guys?
I think we
But I think, you know, if there's questions that you still have, there are people who know these answers a lot better than we do.
The process here, Mary Ellen, is after we do all this, it has to go in front of a lawyer.
Yeah.
Well, it has to go in front of the city first for community input, even though we've tried to get people to come. I mean, Ann and Pam have given us a lot of input and language and things to think about, which has been wonderful. That's why we asked you guys for this section. Then it's gotta go in front of a lawyer. Then it's gotta go in front of the legislature.
I think the voters
So
were.
voters.
Voters first, sorry, voters,
Right.
then the legislature. So this is only one piece of the
Yeah,
whole
I think
process,
there's 2 public hearings.
at least.
And there should be, because, yes, we got big mouths and running quite freely, but we do not.
No.
But we do not
That's got nothing to do
represent
with reading
anybody else.
the
We
charter. I mean,
represent ourselves.
So
And
anyway-
we're gonna push it to be as transparent
Yeah,
as we have.
as
Yeah.
So that-
transparent as we
Yeah.
possibly can, and and feel free to talk about this section with anybody or any of the process.
The
with
only
anybody.
other thing I mentioned that we got talking about, when Jennifer pulled it out, was the $7,500 reimbursement to the school. We had discussed that. And long story short, we don't have to do anything with that. Jim said the $7,500 probably covers his costs anyways. And that's for.
That's a line
The
item.
school gives $7,500 to the city treasurer for expenses. It's in
City budget.
it's in the city budget,
It's in our
so it must be in the school budget somewhere. And we were wondering where that figure came from and stuff, so I talked to him about it. And he said, that was from a long time ago, but as time has passed on, his duties as it applies to the school have been minimized. And he said, $7,500 more than covers it, so you don't need to do it. So I think we just don't do it. And that can be a negotiation. I just wanted to point that out. We had discussed it in the last meeting, so I think.
Anything else
I
in
think
that
we're
section?
good.
I have one last question. The relationship between the school district and the supervisory union, what is the governance document that establishes how that relationship works, or is that again somehow just state statute?
That would be a good question for the superintendent.
Yeah, for Elaine.
Elaine,
Yeah.
Okay.
he asked
You
for
might
it.
refer to, so there's a whole section of state statute just on supervisory union and governance and benefits.
I I'm gonna guess that's
I
what
mean,
it
in our
is.
whole
Pretty
governance,
specific in
our
there,
whole governance structure is gonna have to change anyways,
because,
because we're getting told we have to change. I mean, it's,
oh, with all these new
yeah, with the
legislative things.
BOCES and all these things like that that we're having,
Oh,
that we
yeah,
have to pursue.
mergers.
There's, the superintendent was just given, by a certain number of dates, she has to, create a committee to research this, and there's,
Research
You
that.
gotta-
Yeah.
You gotta
there's a
create a
whole
CSEP,
prescriptive policy,
a
procedure.
CSEP, community
Yeah.
educational.
So
Okay.
nothing to do with the charter.
All right, so let's
No,
continue
I'm
back
good.
to the charter.
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna try to
We have
bring it
more to
back.
do.
You're just trying to keep people
I'm
focused.
just trying to
Yes.
keep it, so we can keep on.
All right,
moving.
so are we all set with 39? We're ready to,
I'm good.
okay, now, feel free, you don't have to stay for all if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so,
you so
so
much.
much for coming. Thank you, thank you.
It's been
Really,
in many
really
ways, so.
appreciate it.
It's been helpful.
Bye.
Thank you, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I'm happy with how that 39 sounds. We've already done 40, that was city manager. We looked at 41 last time. That concludes first round of the updates. Now we need to go back and everything that's in yellow were issues that needed to be, we tabled and we're gonna come back to mainly because as things came up. However, that being said, we never did finalize the water and sewer section 26. And I gave you all this morning, a copy of the new ordinance that was passed at council last week. Make sure that if there's anything we do in here, it doesn't conflict with the ordinance amendments. And Jennifer, do you want to add anything?
Only that, the feeling of the committee when we met, and we probably should, we didn't really have time to review it, is the fact that the conflict that you might have between state statute, our ordinance, and the city charter. And that when John reviewed it, I think it would be nice to get through to John, which I probably should have done, but I think he said he was on vacation. or
I don't
something.
know if he's, I haven't
Yeah.
talked to him since
Yeah.
last week.
That, to just potentially pull what was out of the new draft charter would probably be the best way to address things, but I think that given what Charlie wants to see in the new charter, whether this fulfills, the detail that is necessary, because it is very, very light on detail, but it avoids conflict.
Okay,
That
so
makes
let's
sense to
look
you all.
at, this is section 26
Of the old one?
of our current. The only thing it says in here, oh, and then the proposed, here's my list of where there's. Okay, so this was 26. The proposed is sections 201 and 203.
So, I guess, maybe Jennifer, question is what, in the proposed charter, what is in conflict with, is it conflict with this, or is it
No,
conflict with the
it's not,
whole
which is
ordinance?
what, it does not conflict, and that is the interest to make sure that anything that's written in your proposed charter also does not conflict.
Okay.
Well, does anybody think it does
Where is-
conflict?
Where is that?
Anything that we've put done so far?
John was concerned, and I managed not to pick up that piece of paper because it's with the wrong thing. There was a concern at this point, I cannot remember exactly what it was.
So, Jennifer, with the proposed charter, from January of 26, the proposed charter, for this section 26, water and sewer systems, The proposal was it removed it and then gave the duties to city council? Because when I look at, I'm looking at,
Yeah.
Cross-reference.
the cross-reference, thank you.
You-
So section 20, of the existing charter, section 26, the proposed charter deals with it in 201 and 203 according to this. But 201 is powers and duties of city council, 203 is mayor.
It's.
So it's not separate anymore. So it's not its own own
No, it
subsection.
is, it's, I just.
213.
reread it.
213 has
213,
something
and we
on
adopted most of
So
that
then
language
that's-
right in.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that is not cross-referenced correctly?
Right.
Okay, that's why I was confused. 213, okay, got it. And that's what we took.
Yeah.
And that's what is in blue.
Pretty
I-
much, yeah.
It could have been, okay, when was that meeting? As long as, I would say go with what potentially you have in blue, if that agrees with what was in the new charter. And then we'll just ask John. I'm trying to remember the paper that you gave me that I gave to the committee.
Which was, I got rid of what I gave you, was the blue here.
Yeah.
Now, what you gave them was the third thing that I wrote up, but we
That's right.
substantially changed.
Yeah.
You gave them the thing that I wrote up.
No, I
For
did not,
section- for
no.
section 24,
I
you
gave,
didn't?
I gave her this, I cut and paste
Oh, you did,
everything we've
okay.
done,
Yeah.
and then I included this section in green,
Mhm.
which was, do we like this wording better than
Yeah.
213?
Where the conflict started in that meeting was over the water commissioners, because this group suggested that the water commissioners should actually be responsible for what they're signing off on, and that they would meet more than once a year, which is what the obligation in this was, and that they would have some understanding
Right.
of what they were signing off
And that there would be,
Because at least in.
as I recall, Travis suggested language that would say that if there were transfers, if there was city work being done in water and sewer, that there would be a proportion, it would be established,
Second green section.
on.
yes, that it would, right, I don't have it before me, but
Yeah.
that there would be some proof that that's how much work was done. It wouldn't be just sort of like an arbitrary
Yeah.
60%, or there was language, I don't
Yeah, the
recall
city
it.
shall not allocate or assign general governmental expenses to the water fund or sewer fund except where such costs represent actual and
Right.
proportionate cost of services, personnel, facilities, and resources provided for the direct benefit of the respective utility. All such allocations shall be supported by a documented cost allocation methodology.
The committee did not have an objection to that. The problem is whether the city is capable fully of doing that, which is why they've used ballparks over time. They're trying to get into that time management. It's the cost effectiveness of the tracking
Yeah.
particularly.
Okay, that being said,
So, I mean, I've scanned this, but I don't see any conflict with what we've written in this ordinance, do you?
I should have reviewed it before I came, which I did not do.
Okay.
I don't, and I've forgotten what exact point that John brought up. But I think it could have been the confusion of just reading very quickly at the end of the meeting, the different color sections, and trying to fully comprehend that.
So I watched your water and
Yeah.
sewer thing, and the only thing that I got from John was that he thought we were going down a rabbit hole because it's all handled by state statutes.
Yeah,
My contention is that kind of thinking is why his version didn't pass, because it doesn't spell anything out.
Yeah.
People should not have to go to read state statutes. They shouldn't have to read the charter and say, okay, I don't know what that means, now I have to Google
Yeah,
state statute. And we were trying to avoid that.
yeah, and that's why I said.
And that's why he
conflict
said,
was-
well, you're going down the rabbit hole because it's already in the, well, that's fine, but
Yeah.
it doesn't, he didn't say, I didn't see where he thought it conflicted. I
Okay,
just thought we were wasting our time.
Why don't we try to clean this up, because we've definitely
got a lot
got
in
some
here.
places here where we're
Yeah.
like this or this, so let's
Yeah.
get that sorted out.
Yeah.
let's
And
do
then
that.
hopefully John and other members of the Water Commission will attend the public meetings, or maybe if they want to
Or
attend.
we can
it,
show,
yeah.
when's your next meeting?
It's not been scheduled.
Yeah, maybe we can attend there, I mean, whatever. It just makes sure,
Yeah.
you know. the
All right.
minutes
When you
are-
get
I
more
assume
final
that
draft, you
after-
can send it out.
So once we're done and we send it out, the council's gonna review it, the public's gonna review it, and there's gonna be changes, I'm guessing.
Oh, I am.
So we might as well, yeah, unless there's something
Or we're defending
really
our
obvious that
choices.
stuck out.
There was
I-
nothing that,
I watched that
yeah.
communication,
Yes,
and I was
well-
like, I didn't
All
see.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe, because one of the things we have to sort out is this idea of whether or not the city council is going to appoint members of the commission that aren't on the city council. So that is
Well-
something that we
Yeah,
haven't
that's new.
talked about.
Yeah, so that is new.
Well,
Yeah.
we've talked about it a lot, but we
Yeah.
haven't made a decision on it.
Yeah,
Okay, so what we have in blue, it was pretty much taken from the proposed 213, which was called obligation to serve as water and sewer commissioners. We did change it some, but so that had, the city council shall serve as the board of water and sewer commissioners. Ours says, city council shall serve as board of water and sewer commissioners. We added for the city of Newport. I think that's, okay. The next line in the proposal was, the board of water and city commissioners shall meet at least once per calendar year to review the prior year's audit, approve the coming year's budget, and to alter rates as necessary or desirable to sufficiently fund the expense budgets. We have the governance, powers, and responsibilities for water and sewer systems shall be vested in these commissioners. Powers include operating and managing water and sewer systems, setting rates, and ensuring compliance with state water and sewer laws and environmental standards. Then the proposal says, the last line, other than this mandatory annual meeting, the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall be subject to the terms and provisions of 24 VSA, and such other general enactments as may be applicable here too.
and Mike
Mike
specifically
said you
said,
don't
do
put that
not
in there, they don't
do
want
not
that.
refer to.
We say, then our next line, so that was our first paragraph. Then the next thing we talked about, which we put, and I have it here in italics because as you should have been in yellow, but the city council may, not shall, may appoint up to 2 customers of the water and sewer systems to the board to serve as non-voting members of the commission. Should this be included? Note to self.
If they're non-voting, then they're basically there for information and input. Could the council, acting as water commissioner, just call experts for advice? Do they have to appoint them to the board? I mean,
I guess right now I'm saying, my feeling is we strike that. We don't include that.
I'm fine with that.
I just think that if they're not voting members, I don't feel as though there's gonna be a lot of interest in that kind of a position. I think it might be pretty hard to fill, because what would be the point of them sitting on it if they couldn't vote?
And here's why I say we take it out. Because we do have a task force of which Jennifer sits on. and they're doing a ton of work.
Which will end.
Which will end.
That's, well, I don't know.
How long have you
This
guys
one's
been
gonna
going,
end.
Jennifer?
This
Longer
task
than
force
you
does.
guys.
The task force is barely meeting at this point, Jennifer.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for the next sewer bills.
Okay, Dennis, you have your, what would you like to say? You got your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I agree, it should probably be stricken from our work.
Yeah,
I can live
I
with
don't
that.
think it has to be there.
okay.
Can I back
Are
up?
we okay with that?
Yeah, I am. Can we just back up to the thing that we added, commissioners for the city of Newport? Jennifer, are there any areas outside of Newport city limits that are connected to the water?
Yes.
Then it shouldn't say, it
Okay.
should be whoever's connected to the water system, that's what they govern, not just the city.
Where are you? What are you?
The
First
city
sentence.
council shall serve as the board of water and sewer commissioners for the city of Newport. What should it be for?
That's okay. It's this sentence. It's
All
this
of the
sentence.
wells currently are within, the sources are all within the city of
Well, You
Newport.
added for the
But we
city.
do supply water outside and we do take
No,
septic from
we,
inside. We have a contract with Derby.
Is it okay as it stands, just to say for the city of Newport, or does it? I'm used to, like I said the last time, I'm used to an area where you have utility districts that are
This is a
separate.
charter.
And it's
Yeah.
everybody that's on the water system in that area.
do we need them?
I don't-
So it could extend past a city or even a county boundary, but
Yeah.
that district
Should we
is-
just take out for the city of Newport?
Yeah, just put,
Because this
Yeah.
is the city of Newport's charter. Do we need
Yeah.
that in there?
No.
No,
just put it, yeah.
no,
We'll just take it.
Gone.
Okay, done.
Gone.
no.
Solves that easily enough.
And can you rethink piece about the water commissioners and the frequency of their meeting once a year?
Well, we're not quite there yet. 1 minute.
We have it.
We've got it
We
down,
will,
down
we
farther. It
will. We
says
got it,
quarterly.
we got it.
It says quarterly.
All right, so are we okay with that first sentence in blue, which is a combination of, I think we looked at other towns, I think we looked at 213, and in our conversation is how we came up with,
Yeah, I'm good with it now, it's just city of Newport.
yeah, okay. Then the next line, so this is, the city, where did this come from? The city council shall establish rates to be paid for the use of water supplied by the city water and sewer departments, which shall be called service rates and shall be collected by the city treasurer. This was taken from section 9 of our current charter.
Okay, so as we go down past that, in what we have in green and blue, down below,
Yeah,
is in conflict with that.
well, that's there to get better wording. Which one do
I
you like?
understand, but below it talks about the commission setting the rates, and here it talks about the council setting the
Oh.
rates.
Okay.
So you need to decide who you want setting the rates.
Who sets them now?
Well, the council, but the council is the commission too, so.
Correct.
When they adopted the ordinance, from what I gather
Oh,
from
yeah,
the
we're-
press, they met as both the board and as the alderman.
Yeah, I was at that meeting and I think they specifically said we are acting as both entities right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they made it so they covered it by both.
yeah, but I think,
Well, what does the ordinance
I
say?
think if we,
That is not the complete ordinance.
What do we want to
No,
do?
the water ordinance under the state statutes specifically says that the commissioners establish the rates.
It does.
And in
I'm
the
looking for it
ordinance,
now.
it says the board twice, because it's capitalized. So apparently they want to make sure the board sets the
Yeah.
rates.
So just replace city council with
Yeah.
board of water and sewer
And,
commissioners.
Okay.
and that would.
So it's the commission.
That would,
Yeah.
The board of commissioners, board of water
Yeah.
and sewer commissioners.
yeah, the board of the commissioners, either one.
You should be consistent in your wording.
Yeah, let's be
Yes.
consistent.
Let's put
It
the
says-
board,
It says
the-
board
Yeah.
in the ordinance, it says board.
But up above, it says The city council shall serve as the board of water and sewer commissioners. Then I think you need to say, the board of water and sewer commissioners shall establish rates to be paid for the to be paid, I don't like that next part. For the use of, is that? Doesn't sound, that doesn't flow to me.
Well, it's because it's old language from the original
Oh.
charter.
Okay.
Yes, I've actually pulled up the state statute. It says the water commissioners shall have the supervision of such municipal water department and shall make and establish all needful water rates, charges, rules, and regulations for its control and operations.
But that's, yeah, but
I mean, you can have
that's
different.
that's for municipalities that don't have a charter. You
Yes,
can-
I'm just,
So,
I'm,
yeah,
yeah,
so a
I'm just saying
municipality
that
can
they
say
may-
different.
So how
Newport
should we
could
word
say,
that?
we don't want
Shall
the board,
establish
the
rates.
commissioners to do it, the council can do it. but-
yeah, okay.
Do we need that part that says to be paid for the use of water? Okay. Can it just say the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall establish rates
We don't have to, we already said it
Of
in blue
waters.
up above.
of water supplied by the city water and sewer departments, which shall be called service rates and shall be collected by the city treasurer?
I think we actually, so one of the things that this amendment does do is redefine rates. So I don't think we want to get specific about, I think we can strike, or we should strike out the part that says like, which shall be called service rates. This ordinance deals with the different rates and what they're called. and
Yes,
what
so
they
we don't
cover.
need to in the
I think
charter,
we can-
right?
Yeah,
And it may change from
Yeah.
time to time.
So the board, so,
And if you put it in the charter.
But which shall be called service rates. Can be-
Yeah.
and be done?
Yeah.
So,
But I think the original language at the front of the beginning of the sentence probably needs to stay, it's precise. that-
So the first
I
sentence,
would just, but you don't need to be paid for. I think you can,
yeah,
the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall establish rates for the use of water supplied by the city and sewer department. Well, for the use of water supplied by the city.
But when you do that, if I read it strictly, it would be, they set the rates for use. It doesn't say I have to pay it, they just define the rates.
That's covered, I think it was covered by ordinance, but they're setting the rates, right?
yeah.
Well, yeah, they are setting the rates, but,
but nothing
Then the rest of
in
it is
here-
in the
yeah.
ordinance.
okay.
so our first sentence says, city council shall serve as board of water commissioners, we're keeping that, what's in the blue. The governance, powers, responsibilities, for water and sewer systems shall be vested in these commissioners.
Yeah,
Powers include,
setting
hold on,
rates.
operating, managing water and sewer systems, setting rates.
Yeah.
So we've already
So
got
do we
it.
even need this paragraph? Can we
That's what I'm
strike that out?
I don't think so.
I think we
Because
can.
you're already saying. it.
We're already saying they set rates, and then we don't define, the ordinance will define how they set the rates.
Right.
Yeah, I think that
Isn't that
whole,
just, so we can just get rid of all that?
Okay, how about the next section? Such service rates shall be and are hereby made a lien in the nature of a tax upon the real estate so supplied with water and sewer, and shall be collected and enforced under such regulations and ordinances as the city council shall prescribe. That, again, is taken from our current section 9.
If you don't do that, then what's your recourse? I'm not a fan of taking anybody's property for an unpaid bill, but then you're
Right.
talking about like a.
It should be in the ordinance, that section.
And well, it says, and enforced under such regulations and ordinances as the city council shall prescribe. So are you saying we really don't need it?
Well, I think you do need it if
I
you're
think we
gonna
need it.
allude to that enforcement. The enforcement of them is by the,
And enforced under such regulations, right?
yes, but that's only the enforcement. The establishment that you have to make the payment is established earlier on in that sentence.
Yeah, and here, okay, leave it as is? Yes,
I think so.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, I think it can be reworded, but.
Okay, well, I think now we're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
But now I'm gonna take
Just
this
need to-
part out here.
Yeah, and
No, I'm gonna keep
I
it.
just want to draw our attention back to one of the things you said initially. The more changes we have, the more it's going to take explanation to the people to understand it. If those two paragraphs are acceptable and say what they need to say, why not just leave them?
Well, I don't think we need that first one though.
Well, no, we can strike that first one, but the
We'll
second
just
one
leave
is
this
good
one.
as is.
Now, the part that we have, and to those of you who are on your computers, the part we have in green, all this was a rewording of what we just talked about. So the first thing we have here is the operating funds, expense budget, and income budget for the water and sewer department. Oh no, this was different.
No.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
And I will
With
say,
that-
I don't like the top one. I think the second one is more thorough, except I would change the last sentence to shall be supported by appropriate documentation instead of supported by a document
Okay,
cost
one second.
allocation.
So
Yeah.
what this is attempting to do is not to allow what happened before.
Yes.
Exactly.
Where they
Right.
commingle funds, they do whatever the hell they
Yeah.
want, they spend whatever they want. So that's a little, you can't mix sewer and water funds with general fund, and that's what, and that was something that I really think needs to stay in there. How
Okay.
it's worded, I don't
It's a
really care.
major check and balance,
Yep.
major.
Yep,
And one of the reasons is the second one in green is more specific, is it's not just the money that comes in, it's also how you allocate like personnel and stuff that you're billing against. So it keeps it very, very separate.
Okay. So let me just, the water and sewer enterprise funds shall be maintained as financially independent enterprise operations. The city shall not allocate or assign general governmental expenses to the water fund or sewer fund except where such costs represent the actual and appropriate cost of services, personnel, facilities, or resources provided for the direct benefit of the respective utility. All such allegations shall be supported by a documented cost allocation methodology.
And I just think that last bit should be supported by appropriate documentation. Just-
By appropriate documentation.
that second sentence works for me. That's-
That second, so get rid of the operating funds, expense budget, and income budget for the water?
Yeah, because we are either or, so just.
Yeah, I
get rid
know,
of
so
the
get
top.
rid of the top one.
And I'll just say, you made one mistake in the reading, it's actual and proportionate, you said appropriate, so it's
Oh,
getting
proportionate.
the
Sorry.
divisions
Yeah.
when they divide 60/40,
Yeah.
that it's precise.
Proportionate cost of services, thank you.
But it's correct in with the way it's written.
Yeah.
Should
Okay,
be
so
correct.
now this becomes blue. Okay, now the next part, rates shall be reviewed at least annually and adjusted.
Chair, just throw a monkey wrench, it's not a
No, no.
monkey wrench, but when we talk about supported by appropriate documentation, who provides, or who determines what appropriate documentation is? Should it be that appropriate documentation as determined by the city council, or as determined by the board of commissioners?
Yeah, that's the same people.
Yeah.
Jennifer?
My base feeling having run a business is this could potentially be just sort of a major time suck on some things, depending on how detailed you get. Sort of like, do you go for a bond on a police cruiser or, a $2 million piece of equipment? You got conflict because no matter what, the board is the same as the council, so,
Yeah.
And what capacity do you want?
yeah,
Is it within our purview?
Who determines
yeah.
what the appropriate documentation is?
I think that if it came down to an order and somebody said, we have a problem here, then hopefully there's documentation.
Well, isn't that just general practice?
No.
Has it been?
Is it
Far from it.
So let me give you a little history.
I
So at one point,
Can I ask this question so you can put it in your history? Is it within our purview here with what we're doing to just say that they need to be separate? Because that provides a check and balance. If you had 3 elected people that were just the water commission and they weren't the city council. And that way, the city council could deem what was appropriate because they're providing the check and balance on the water, instead of them being the same people.
Okay,
And I
that's,
don't know what the history is, why.
so
Okay.
the state statute said it has to be city council.
Really?
You have to
Okay.
go back and look at it.
does it?
Yep. I'm
Mike's,
pretty sure.
Mike's wrinkling his
I'm
forehead.
pretty
Again,
sure.
but again, state statutes are written for municipalities, charter,
Right, for town. yeah.
for towns, right?
Yeah.
So the charters are written to provide, it's statute for the city. And so I think that the city could determine that they want somebody else's, they could create their own water and sewer commission that's outside of the council if they wanted to.
I don't think that's our function.
I don't know that the state statute specifically says that the water commissioners have to be the council. But what
Maybe it doesn't, maybe what I read was.
It would be in the town, it would
It's
default
usual.
to that.
They are included in it.
Yeah, you can write what you want, but I would bring up, if you can't fill your school board, I don't know that you'll fill the water commissioners.
I agree.
The problem I see anyway, I mean, I think there's a huge conflict of interest between the two. But if you have appointed people, who's going to appoint them? The council is going to appoint them.
Yeah.
So they appoint
Their own friend.
their own.
We can get rid of the council though.
And then they get, no, but the council, if somebody who's been appointed to water commission doesn't do what the council sort of wants, they can get rid of them at any point. You said the council appoints, the council unappoints.
State statute under Title 17 local elections says, now this is for towns obviously because, but it says, unless the town votes to elect water commissioners, the select board shall appoint forthwith no less than 3, no more than 5 water commissioners, unless there is no existing or prospective municipal water system for such commissioners to supervise. The select board may remove an appointed water commissioner from office for just cause after due notice and hearing. The select board may appoint members of their own board to serve as water commissioners.
Which is what they did.
But
Unless
we
you
could
have a
have
town that
elected-
owns their own fire district.
Did that say we could have elected water commissioners?
But you're gonna get 5 people. to
Unless
run for that, I agree
unless
with
the
that.
town votes to
Not
elect
me.
water commissioners. So
you could
so
do the same thing with
basically,
charter, say,
the state statute says the town can vote to elect water commissioners, and if they don't, then the select board shall appoint them, and can appoint themselves.
So if you want checks and balances, we could have left in the 2
They-
additional
They're
members.
not voting, doesn't make any difference.
Make them vote. I mean, I don't know.
But then if we make them voting, we have to, that was the problem.
Then it's a problem,
Then we
right.
have to completely rewrite the section on voting as the city council. That was the problem with making them voting.
And if they're appointed, they could represent
Just-
interests that are not just general public interests. They could be, you know,
A corporation with.
2
major-
corporations.
Sure. A
Which-
hospital and somebody else, or yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Major users.
Who audits the water and sewer department?
The city auditor,
City auditor,
Who's
Wow.
hired, right?
yeah,
who's hired by the city council.
yeah.
I mean, but,
Who did a piss poor job.
yeah,
Okay, we're gonna talk
But-
forward though.
yeah.
So,
That's what we're trying to do. We're explaining why we can't go back.
We're gonna go forward. The water's,
So what are we hung up on?
water and sewer board,
well, just who provides what's the proper documentation,
Right.
right?
all such allegations shall be supported by appropriate documentation.
Since we're talking about budgetary documentation, what about the treasurer clerk?
That's, he's he or she is the one that is keeping that documentation, correct?
So couldn't they say what appropriate documentation was? Could that be a function of their position?
Well,
Yeah, I think it is
let
already.
me go
said.
back to why that thing's in there. We started doing it.
Okay, the history.
So the history is that we had a city manager that decided to keep city taxes on the municipal end, which the council controls, down. We're gonna put 60% of the city manager's position into the water and sewer fund, which they did. So the salary, so if the city manager was making 100,000, 60,000 of it went to water and sewer. No documentation, no common sense, no. If you ask the city manager how much time do you spend on water and sewer, they probably tell you 5%. So it eliminates doing that. And why would they want to do that? I don't know. To get elected, I have no idea. Or not to have to put up with the wrath of the voters, because we'll just put it in sewer and water rates. So that's why something like this has to be in there. So we've had a history. If we don't do something to protect
It
from happening again, then that's on us as a charge.
Jennifer, what do you want?
Just to let you know, they have the city manager's secretary, director of public works, and then we've now added the clerk treasurer. Those are on percentages. And I believe there are 2 employees who are assigned as percentages. Then you have the water and sewer employees and other things that are tracked by time.
And this is part of the budget that's established?
This is how they've done it for a number of years. We now have advanced timekeeping and stuff like that. You gotta realize this was back when people were just there working 40 hours, nobody was knowing where. Now we have the systems where you can divide up potentially where the equipment is, where the employee is.
But how do
That's
you-
not been
But
done.
And
Yeah.
that's what is, they're trying to transition to it, at least with the employees. But then you've got a problem, you know, your water and sewer is, a lot of public works is water and sewer because it's the water and sewer lines they're working on. And
Jennifer,
that you can dig up.
can I ask, who has the oversight for this timekeeping and accounting system?
It's done by Public Works, I guess I would say, I don't have an exact answer, but the
Probably.
employees note it down and the time cards are downstairs.
I have another question, and we might have already discussed this, I just don't remember. The city council is made up of, or the board of commissioners is made up of the city council, but not the treasurer, is that right?
Correct.
But he's appointed, so under this, yeah, so I'm not sure that we have an entity under this system that we've written in our charter who would have a check against the board. Who would that be? Who would be able to be a
Voters.
check and balance it? Yeah, but the voters can't. I don't see.
I
a
think
way-
what the word you're using is the accountability.
Well, not even accountability, but we're just really talking about documentation for right now. We're talking about
Yeah.
two things, obviously, but just for the sake of who decides what appropriate documentation is. We either have to say, well, it's the city council,
Provided by,
But
it's gotta
then-
be in here.
okay, or the commissioners, but aren't we then just saying they're deciding what their own appropriate documentation is? That's not a check and
What
balance.
if we take out the word appropriate, and then that puts it back to the citizen? As long as the documentation's on file, if something seems fishy with water and sewer and general funds, you do a FOIA request, pull it, and look at what the documentation is, and if you think it's weak.
So all such allocations shall be supported by documentation.
Filed with who keeps that documentation?
The
City
treasurer.
clerk or
There you
treasurer.
go, filed with the city clerk, and then it can be FOIA'd and.
So that would be, okay, Jennifer, go ahead.
Well,
I can tell
Is that-
just to point out, The funds, despite, if you disregard the assignment of the city manager and some of those other things to water and sewer, which was supposedly, according to John Ward, who I believe is the one who did it, was so the nonprofits would be paying some more of the city's share of operations, quote unquote. But other than that, your funds are literally separate. What happens is we have a debit and credit of owed to and from, which you see every time you see a council thing. That got out of whack, and the council did not address how out of whack it was, because at that point, I don't think they were seeing the budget on a regular basis to find out that water and sewer rates were not paying. And you, so whether you need those checks and balances or not, you've got that base tracking system that needs to be tweaked going forward.
So,
But, you know, this commingling of funds is just, it's on paper.
right, but you can, we're trying to prevent that.
So Mike,
It's-
because I think
But,
a
but
good idea.
so the original wording might have done that. In other words, you've got to have some methodology to it.
Yeah.
So Jennifer's saying, you know, they figure 40% of the public works goes towards water and sewer on an annual basis. Some years more, some years not, but that's what they use. But at least they have a formula, which would be a
But
methodology,
it's not based in any fact.
but it should be.
Of course.
In other words, the only thing that's based in fact is the part of how much the employees work. They do timesheets, and they say, I worked 5 hours for water this
Yeah.
week, 6 hours for
Right.
sewer, and the rest for the general fund.
Yeah.
So we get it
So
from
that's a
that.
methodology.
Well, can
That's
I,
a
I'm interested to
methodology.
hear what Mike's got to say.
There's the city manager, the public works people, the supervisor, the treasurer
Yeah.
and clerk. They don't do it by keeping any time management. They won't even do it for like 3 weeks. The last mayor we had said it almost had to beg that they would do it for 2 weeks.
She did.
And she got it. She got
So,
numbers for 2
okay,
weeks.
so I get you. So
You need a
I'm
methodology.
gonna go, that's what I'm saying, so if we put that in there. So like the ambulance board, I'll give you, so we have one general administration and billing, which all is done out of the Newport office. We charge the, we have 4 stations, we have Newport, and we have 3 others. And we do it by call volume. So it may be 10% one year, you know, whatever the amount of call volume is, percentage for the, but that's a methodology that we use. But it may not be 100% accurate, but it is, at least you've given it some thought on how you divvy it out. And that's all. So if we just put in there the methodology, which we had in before, it means you can go and ask, so how did you determine that
It was in the-
60% of the city managers
We did,
thing is in there? And they said, well, this is a methodology that we use.
I can.
All
Yeah.
such allocations shall be supported by a documented cost allocation methodology.
Yeah, and I think that covers it.
Mike, what were you thinking?
I'm just thinking that even if you're talking about a methodology, I mean, who comes up with that methodology?
City council.
But
Well, not
Well, so
really.
that's the
I'm
point.
city
That's the
manager,
point.
city
That's-
manager.
But what?
City
I mean,
Who
manager.
reports
you-
to, who
But it's,
reports to?
when you talk about methodology, you're talking about numbers, right?
Yeah.
So who does the city have that works with numbers?
City manager.
City auditor. The auditor can come up with a methodology that they can provide to the water and sewer commissioners on how to allocate. They don't now, but they
Yeah.
can.
They
But the
could.
auditor would
Yeah.
have to know, for instance, how much of, the only one that really knows how much time the Public Works Department spends on water and sewer would be the Director of Public Works.
He doesn't track it.
Well,
We have a dozen now, but we're talking.
You're coming up with,
Paid for, so-
you're not asking the
The
auditor
auditor
to track
doesn't.
it. You're asking the auditor to come up with the methodology of how you do it, and then the water and sewer commissioners push that out to the departments and everybody
And
else,
an
and
auditor
this is
can
what
do
you
that?
have to do.
An auditor can do that?
I don't know why they
It
can't.
requires, it seems like 2 auditors. Because the one auditor that we do have says he just looks at the numbers that we give him, and he's not even allowed really to give us advice about how to improve things. That's sort of like a separate auditor that you would go to get what you're asking for, unfortunately. And more money, obviously.
So I think the reason that I find Mike's suggestion of using the auditor compelling is because the auditor is licensed and Barnett as an auditor. So he has to comply with not just personnel requirements of the city like a city manager would, but also state licensing requirements for auditors. So that provides, to my mind, a little bit more of a check slash balance to,
It's not.
you know, to just say,
Sure.
because what we're looking at now is, it sounds to me like, based on how you've described it, a billable hours system where nobody's actually tracking billable hours, or not tracking them accurately. And on one hand, I think that is the nature of billable hours to an extent. You know, you can hear plenty of stories of people just fudging their billable hours, and you know, and that's just kind of the nature of billable hours, unfortunately. But at least with my suggestion, I'm open to others, but what I'm really looking for is who outside of the city council, who doesn't also report to the city council, or who has some oversight beyond the city council, like the state, which the auditor would have, who can come up with those documentation requirements in a way that prevents the council or the manager or the mayor from moving money around in the way that we have history that it's been moved around.
I was thinking, as you were saying that we keep butting into the same problem, which is the commissioners are the counselors. And we're the same people, and there's a conflict of interest. And I understand small town can't get people to run, but you need some type of adversarial relationship there to create that check and balance to make sure that, you know, if you have a separate board, they submit the allocation methodology, and then the council would have to agree to it, or they'd say, no, we don't think that this is allocated correctly. But as it is within the same person, you can shuffle money around in the budget all you want, because you can agree with yourself if that's appropriate.
Can we, maybe agree to, oh, sorry, Lori, sorry.
Yeah, so, I'm just, first of all, I'm just gonna say this, Financial and Fiscal Practices Task Force. And we've talked about some of this, and I'll use myself as an example. I am a salaried employee. I get paid whether I work 20 hours or 40 hours, but it's all based on the way that we work. That general ledger those general ledger accounts that were redone last year, you know, the fact is that sometimes you have to retrain your brain. I have to think about what it is I'm doing for my job and how many hours I'm putting in. Am I doing A, B, or C? And we have a new city manager coming in. We have a finance administrator, I can never get Carrie's title correct, who is really good at this stuff. And my personal opinion is that, you know, Tom sits here and he says, okay, a third, you know, whatever the guys are doing, they do a third to water, a third to sewer, and a third to public works. Well, you know, sometimes people might have to start doing their time sheets a little bit more, including directors, managers, whoever. They might have to get more granular, and they are going to have to be held accountable for that time. And somebody's going to say, well, I've been doing this for 15 years and I don't really care. But we have a new city manager, and you have an opportunity to make a change that could positively impact water and sewer budgets and the general fund budget by properly keeping track of time. You know, and that's just my personal opinion. We have talked about this before, doing the budgets and stuff over the last year. And I just think that this is probably the time to make a change. And because it's a fiscal practice, the task force can work with the city manager, you know, to come up with an appropriate way to handle that.
Okay, so, agreed. And do we have anything about water and sewer in the role of the city manager? We need to check that. Secondly, I just added, supported by a documented cost allocation methodology. How they do it, what their methodology is up to them. I don't know that we can have a charter item that's so, well, what do I want to say, so restrictive maybe? Because maybe there's going to be some methodology that comes down the pike. I mean, it's not my world.
Is the word?
Yeah, that's correct, Sharon. You know, I've been with my company for 6 years, 7 years, and the fact is, you know, we get changes in stuff all the time. And so you have to make it general enough to be able to allow for those changes.
So it's really easy to do.
Supported by a documented cost allocation methodology.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. But how they do it
That's it.
is up to them, but it requires them to at least do it at that point.
Well, yeah, so,
But you, for, like your idea of an auditor, you can bring an auditor in.
well, maybe
They're
that's,
not an expert at the day-to-day operations of the city of Newport. So it's gonna be hard for them to make those determinations. They can come up with some ideas.
but it's a resource the
But-
city manager
But-
could use.
But an accountant should be able to do that. I'm sure our program that we have now
Mhm.
allows you to code what the work was done, whether it was water and sewer or public works.
Still hand coding.
Huh?
We're still hand coding.
Well,
They're working on it, though.
we've got a program that you don't have to
They're
be
working on
hand
it.
coded.
Does the word quantitative add anything to your description?
I don't think that we're arguing about that wording, actually. We're just saying who decides what's adequate for that documentation because of the, we're just gonna call it a conflict of
Determines
interest.
the methodology, that's really what
But
we're.
you
Should
don't-
we-
but
could
you-
we add-
Whoever's doing the budget,
It-
which
well,
is a
it-
combination of city manager, department heads, and city council. So
Well,
there
that's
are
what-
some checks and
That's
balances.
what I was gonna say, the council's conflicted because they're the water commissioners as well, but the people who aren't are the department heads
The
because
city
it
managers of the
it behooves
departments.
them to have their accounting correct because they don't want more money taken out than they have to.
And it's not rocket scientists. I'm sure our program
So maybe
already has that capability.
maybe you vest that with the department heads and city manager, and then it has to be approved by the council. So if there's a dispute about it, they work it out between themselves.
Or maybe we just leave this word in and let them figure out how they deal with a,
Cost allocation methodology.
yeah.
And are you done with that sheet?
So cost allocation means that they're gonna have to allocate it.
Right.
So that means that they're gonna have to do that kind of stuff. So we're requiring.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Could you say,
But how they go about it, we should give them flexibility
I
to
agree
determine how they do it.
wholeheartedly, but at the end of that sentence, could we say supported by documented cost allocation methodology submitted by the city manager and approved by the city council?
Or I put provided by input from the city manager, department heads, and,
I wouldn't even do the input. They can provide it, and if the city council said, yeah, we agree with that allocation, they can adopt it. If not, they send it back.
city manager, department heads, and city council?
I would say, well, my suggestion is that the city manager and department heads submit it. You could even remove department heads, because the city manager is gonna rely on the department
Yeah.
heads. And the city manager submits it to council, and the council has to adopt it, approve it.
Okay, then now we need to look back at the duties of the city manager.
It's not under there. I
So we
looked
need
at
to make
it
sure
right
it
now.
is.
Well, I
Is that
mean,
more?
yes and no. I think,
More,
I think in generalization it is.
yeah, generally,
He has to submit a
the
budget.
city manager,
I think that anybody
Well-
that sits here
so,
and anybody else
He or she, he in this case.
can ask. I want to see what what did you come up with methodology? So, I think after listening to all of this, I think I'm, myself are satisfied with just stopping at methodology. I think that any of the public that sits here at city council meetings, and they start talking about water and sewer, can ask, I want to see what that methodology is. If they have a question, I want to know how are you determining this? And if it's not sufficient, I think there's going to be a public outcry.
I think you're right.
Again,
And so does the fact that
Well,
we.
there has been a public outcry.
Yeah.
Actually, nothing happened as
But
a
they haven't
Well, it
been
is now.
required by charter
but it was
to
never stated in there.
allocate stuff properly. That
Right.
makes them allocate.
It was never in the charter.
Yeah. That's,
Sharon,
Okay.
does
I
the
like-
fact that it says documented, does that imply that the clerk is gonna maintain those records?
Well, it's got to. That's what
Okay.
documented means.
Okay, great, all good.
yeah. And I think we are covered under the 7th requirement of the city manager in consultation with the mayor to prepare and submit to the council a tentative budget.
This is part of the budget?
The
yeah,
think
allocation-
so.
absolutely.
The
Yeah.
allocation is part of it.
Okay,
Absolutely.
it's there then.
Yeah.
All right. It now reads.
No, that's not, because this is an enterprise fund.
Right.
It's
Oh,
made up by the commission.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Now, with water and sewer budgets are approved by the council.
But we don't vote on them.
Right.
So what language, or do we need to add anything to the city manager's job duties or job, not duties?
Yeah, I think it is job duties, or description. or
And,
whatever.
and the
Powers.
reason,
Powers.
the reason they don't have the town vote on is because a lot of stuff they're required by law to do. And if the town says, no, I'm not gonna approve the budget, then how do they do it? It's a conflict. So,
An enterprise fund
But we
must
certainly can
cover
require
its
checks
own
and balances.
expenses.
yeah,
An enterprise fund means it has to raise revenues to cover its expenses.
exactly. Yeah.
why it's overloaded in the first place.
Okay, so now, it's reading.
Yep.
The water and sewer enterprise funds shall be maintained as a financially independent enterprise operation, as in the city shall not allocate or assign general governmental expenses to the water fund or sewer fund, except where such costs represent the actual and proportionate costs of services, personnel, facilities, or resources provided by the direct benefit of the respective utility. All such allegations shall be supported by a documented cost allocation methodology,
I'm happy.
period. Okay,
I'm happy.
next section, next paragraph. Rates shall be reviewed at least annually and adjusted as needed by the amount necessary to cover all expenses of the department. Such rates will be charged only to users of the water and sewer services. The commissioners can set rates, plan system expansions, and address service issues, but must act within statutory limits. Okay, let's tear that one apart.
Is anybody hooked up to, is anybody on sewage service that have a well in the town?
Yes.
Should it
Yes.
say and or?
No,
Mike,
nobody has a well who's hooked to sewer.
Are there
Okay.
people who only take advantage of water or
Yeah.
only take advantage
Yeah.
of sewer?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So should it be
Mike
and
said
or?
you can't put and or.
But, yeah, we don't use that.
Should it just be or? Because of,
Such rates will be charged only to users of the water or sewer services.
So if you use
Well,
either one.
you could say water,
of the respective utility.
you could say water, because you don't have any that's supplying their own water, but their own sewer. You don't have any, just people that are,
There's no way of measuring the outflow. So
Right.
your sewage charge is based on your inflow water.
Right.
so it's only water, so you could say water or water and sewer.
Yes.
And water, or
You can say,
water, yeah, I get it.
yeah, water, comma, or water and sewer services.
Sewer services, that covers that. We okay with the rest of that?
Yeah.
I am. Lastly, the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet at least quarterly to review current expenditures, prior year's audit, approve the coming year's budgets, and to alter rates as necessary or desirable to sufficiently fund the expense budgets.
You want to get rid of in there the audit, because you do the audit once. So you don't want to meet quarterly and have to go through the audit because you've already gone through it. So part of that is a quarterly basis, part of that should be done annually.
Yeah.
See if there's
So
any
you might
other-
wanna just
when you
move that
read
to
them- I'm sorry.
Move that up to the previous,
Yeah, to where it's
Paragraph.
annually.
Yeah.
Annually to review the budget and audit,
yeah.
and then quarterly for rates and.
Rates and
adjustments.
prior year audits shall be reviewed.
Rates shall
No,
be
not prior
reviewed.
years audits, that's ones,
Rates in the prior year's audit shall be reviewed at
You
least.
know what,
Rates
or you,
and
audits,
prior
how about just audits?
year, no, apostrophe S, not yet S apostrophe.
What?
Rates and the prior year's audit shall be reviewed at least annually and adjusted, and rates adjusted as needed,
And the rates, yeah.
and rates adjusted as needed by the amount necessary to cover all expenses of the department. So then down here, shall meet at least quarterly to review current expenditures, get rid of this, because it just.
You're not gonna approve
What do we
coming
do?
year's budget in quarterly,
Yeah.
either.
Where does that
Get
go?
rid of that, just get rid of it.
The water and sewer department, is that one department or is it separate?
separate.
They're two different funding mechanisms, but the employees basically are water and sewer employees. Most of them wear both hats.
I'm just wondering, when we say, adjust as needed by the amount necessary to cover all expenses of the department or departments?
Departments.
You know, an S there.
Yeah, put an S. in the middle of that.
And also because it's a separate budget, you really should go back to the city manager's section and put in water and sewer specifically.
The paragraph that starts with rates,
Yeah.
departments, down here, put an S on
Now, rates are reviewed quarterly, so that rate should be down probably in the quarterly section.
it. It is,
Could we
Oh, it
fix,
is, good.
could we fix that?
and
bottom?
alter rates as necessary or desirable to sufficiently fund the expense, to fund the expense.
So I just put up there what we cut out from the bottom. Rates, approving the coming year's budgets and the prior year's audit, so that should have an S too then, because it's separate, right? Shall be reviewed at least annually and rates adjusted as needed by the amount necessary to cover all expenses of the department. And then down below, Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet at least quarterly to review current expenditures and to alter rates as necessary. But you got it annually and quarterly.
I would get rid of the annual because you're covered in the quarterly, so you assume that the annual meeting would be the same as one of the quarterly meetings. That they are going to meet quarterly, one of those will be their annual review.
Yeah, because that's part of
Yeah.
the quarterly.
So every single quarter that they meet, they could potentially adjust the rates. And that's what you do want.
And I don't think that paragraph is saying that they have to review the audit quarterly. It comes in, the next quarterly meeting, you guys review the audit, and then if it comes up at the next quarterly meeting, you just say, any changes? No, the audit's good, we've already reviewed it, and just move on. It's just inclusive that in those quarterly meetings, you're going to be doing, you're going to be looking at the general financial health of the enterprise and adjusting rates if needed. I think it reads fine.
As long as you've got one or the other, to say you're meeting
Yeah.
annually to do it, but if you say quarterly and include it, you're fine, but you had the annual in before. So you are technically totally right, Travis.
Well, the last sentence says that they shall meet quarterly to review the rates, and that other sentence says rates shall be reviewed at least annually, so that's.
So if you, if you,
counter.
if you put the last paragraph first, the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet at least quarterly.
To review current expenditure.
yeah.
I've changed that so much now, I don't know how it's supposed to
To
be.
review current expenditures and to alter rates as necessary or desirable to sufficiently fund the expense budgets.
Yeah,
Get the comma after expenditures.
okay.
Then
Put that where, Mike?
put that above the annual. Then you could say the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet
The rates.
annually to approve the coming year's budget, review the prior year's audit.
They don't,
'Cause-
they don't approve the budget. The council approves the budget.
Well, they're gonna approve the
Review.
budget first, and then it will go, and there's, because they're both the same, they could say that they're meeting jointly as the city council and,
Sliding from one
Right,
side of the
yes,
check
right.
to the other.
And then get rid of rates in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
second paragraph, right?
Yeah, because you've already,
Get rid of,
Go ahead, you
and
go
just,
ahead.
and just put,
Because I'm losing me.
Mike, couldn't you, after your first sentence, just say, and annually
Yeah,
yeah,
review?
sure, yeah.
As opposed to making it a new sentence, so you've got a run-on sentence, but you've got quarterly, and of that annually shall do this.
So what do you guys think of this? The Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet at least quarterly to review current expenditures and to alter rates as necessary or desirable to sufficiently fund the expense budgets.
Annually.
No, quarterly.
Yeah, but then,
Now, you-
Yeah, and then annual, and then,
annually,
you got that in the
or,
next sentence, yeah, okay.
the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet at least, or shall meet annually,
yeah,
or at least annually.
we don't need at least because we've got,
Shall meet annually.
so maybe you could, yeah, you're saying at least quarterly, but they
Right.
have to meet
Okay.
annually.
The Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet annually to approve the coming year's budgets and review the prior year's audit?
Mhm.
Okay.
They've never reviewed the audit really, and they don't approve the budget.
Should they?
Sure they should. And the water
Well,
and
the
sewer
council,
budget, yeah.
the council, well, it's only been a habit for the last 2 years. Prior to that, the council never even approved the sewer and water budget. But over a 10-year period of various citizens demanding it, we finally got it under Mayor Sullivan, that the council would approve water and sewer budgets. I think it happened once under Mayor Sullivan, and then maybe twice since then. But it's always been the council that's approved the water or sewer budget
Yeah, but
for the last 3 years.
yeah, I think the change that we've made here is that, that we're saying that the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners are responsible for setting rates. Setting rates, they're gonna set the budget.
I think they aren't gonna set the budget, they're gonna develop a budget.
They're going to what?
They're gonna develop a budget. Your budget is based on what your income is.
Right.
So it
like that
technically,
word
your
better.
budget is not necessarily approved
And develop the coming year's budget.
budget, yeah.
Instead of approve and
Budget.
develop.
I
Yeah.
don't think the commissioners develop the budget because that budget is developed by the city manager in conjunction with the Department of Public Works, who says how much money he's going to need, and then how much money he's going to spend. And based upon that, they decide what the rate has to be to generate that income.
Then, as opposed to develop, do review. They
Who
certainly are
approves
not.
it?
Review, I like the word review.
Yeah.
So when the city manager and the Department of Public Works come up with a budget, the
Yeah.
water and sewer commissioners don't do anything with it? They just set a rate?
Historically, they've done.
Should they do anything about it? Should
They
they
should be certainly doing
No.
something.
oversight?
That would be
That's
nice.
why you have a task force that's trying to straighten out the mess.
Yeah.
So we should have a word in there about,
And review.
Is review a strong enough word?
is review a strong enough word?
It is,
It
well,
certainly should be included.
yeah.
The Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet at least quarterly to review current expenditures and to alter rates as necessary or desirable to sufficiently fund the expense budgets. Such rates will be charged only to users of the water or water and sewer services. The Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners shall meet annually to review the prior year's audit and the coming year's budgets. The commissioners can set rates, plan system expansions, and address service issues, but must act within statutory limits.
I'm good with that.
That last line is from John's proposal.
I'm okay with that. Dennis?
I'm fine with that. Dennis?
Good?
He's working, he's got a customer.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that, I'm fine with that, that's good.
Okay.
And also, while I've got you, I will be leaving probably about 11, but we'll be back probably in about 15, 20 minutes after that.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
If everything goes good, we won't be here.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you're an optimist, aren't you?
Okay, I am going to now undo the yellow highlight of this section because we have done it.
And turn it blue. Yep.
Oh, what do you know? I've got it, it's blue. For the most part.
Thank you.
Okay,
My screen setting.
are we okay with that?
Yeah, so in the powers and duties of the city
mayor,
council,
City council, okay, hold on.
do we have anything in there that says that they shall approve the water and sewer budget?
No, we do, no.
We need to. So it's
Yeah,
under
because if
council?
you're, yeah, because here you're saying that the board is only reviewing it.
Yeah.
That the council should approve it.
All right, so that is section 6, I believe. Nope, where's the section on the city?
17. Oh,
17 is city
sorry.
council?
No, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about water and sewer.
City council.
Duties of the city council is where mayor comes first.
23. I think.
7?
Well, you changed it. You in the working document?
I'm in the work.
Then it's
16.
different. Used to be-
16?
Used to be
Council
20
powers.
first. It used to be 20.
No, 16.
No, 16 is real estate assessment.
Yeah.
It used to be 23, so I don't know where it is.
7.
No.
Well,
Yeah, we
yeah,
moved
yeah,
it up.
it's 16 in the working document, 23, I guess, in the old one.
It's
And I'm
Yeah,
looking at the.
23.
No, but we got a language
17,
problem
yeah.
here. The updated document that we work on every week
16.
is 23, city council powers.
Okay.
Oh.
Yep.
And now to the bottom of this, there's a list of 13 things here. No, yeah, yes.
13 items.
So,
We don't have anything about water and sewer.
so now we
What
need
we
to
do
put,
is-
It must
So
say
in-
they serve as water.
So in
commissioners.
6, says the city council shall serve as the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners.
6. What number on 6?
No, no,
Number
no, no.
6, no,
It's
in
in
23.
in 23
6.
section, subsection 6.
We'll probably need to change those to A's and B's to,
Yeah,
that'll be
probably. Or
for,
one, you can number,
then we'll just be right.
Yeah, we can renumber them.
Which in the clean copy I did. Oh, for the love of green cheese, where are we? 6, right
23
here.
members.
The city council shall serve as the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners. Do we need to add more to that?
It's all defined in 17.
Does the council,
In fact, it's restated in the first sentence of 17. The city council shall serve as the Board of Water and Sewer Commissions for the city.
I think what we were discussing was,
The reviewing of their budget.
but I think that, I think it's one of those things because we have it, because we say here, they serve as the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners, and then we have a section on what the duties of the board are. I don't think we need to have it in this place.
I agree.
Yeah. I
We
think
already
we
got
are.
it. So we're saying they are the board, and in the water thing, it's saying that part of their duty is to approve the,
The only thing you would need to add to that if you wanted to is that they serve as the Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners and execute the duties outlined in section 7, which is the water. But you don't even have to do that. I mean, it's here, so.
Okay.
Did you wind up giving them the duty of approving the water and sewer budget?
I think we changed it to review, maybe we ought to.
No, that's what you did for the water and sewer
Sewer,
commissioners.
right.
What about for the council? Did you
Which
say
budget?
that they have to approve the water and sewer budgets?
Yeah, I think we just put approve instead of.
We put review for the Water Commission.
so in 5, you could also, so 5 says, review and approve the proposed annual city budget and adopt and approve the annual city tax rate.
And you could
Addition.
add,
And then you can add,
approve water and
approve
sewer
water
budgets.
and sewer budget as presented by the Board of Water and Sewer Commission or something.
Who is here, so.
But what it's saying is, when you're approving the budget, you're approving all the budgets. You're approving the general fund budget, you're also approving the water and sewer budget.
I think it needs to say it specifically, because historically, up to the last 3 years, they only approved the general fund
Mhm.
budget.
Yeah,
And now they have assumed that chore, and I think it's a fabulous thing that they do that.
Well, what if number 5 said, review and approve the proposed annual city budget, which includes the general fund budget, the water.
Or including
Yeah,
what you're
just
saying.
or just including water
and sewer budget.
Refer to them as enterprise funds.
and, right. Including the water and sewer enterprise funds.
Or any
Budget.
other they may create
Budget.
in the future.
Not funds, but
Right.
Is it still an enterprise budget? Or don't put that word in?
No, I think you need to, and
enterprises. are
Pam
fund.
has a point, there may be another enterprise fund down, maybe it should, instead of saying water and sewer, just say, and including all enterprise funds, which would be water and sewer today, and who knows what tomorrow.
Review and approve the proposed annual city budget, including, I just put, including the water and sewer budgets. No?
And all enterprise funds. Because
And
there
all
could be
other-
others that
And all other enterprise.
show up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're ready for the next thing I think needs to happen. So we've gone through all of our current charter, 1 through 42. I think now, and we have all of our work that we've done outlined in our working document, that has some highlights, which means we needed to go back to it. Do we want to tackle some of those? Because I would like to propose that this working document draft, and it's in red, be put on our city website at this point for the public to look at. I think it's cleaned up. I think you'll notice that after each section, I've put a keep original, or move to, or why any changes had to be made to it.
You haven't changed it all.
No, but it does have some yellows on here, which
Yeah.
says it's sections we need to come back to, which, that would be what I propose we do now.
I'm fine with that.
What?
So let's go back to number one,
Start
section
cleaning
one.
some of it up, you mean?
Section one stays the same. We keep the original, establishment of the city. 2 is transitional. 3, city boundaries and
We're
corporate.
gonna get rid of the yellow on there?
There isn't any yellow anymore.
Okay. I can't get there fast enough. Sure brought my-
Section 3 says city boundaries and corporate powers. And Mike called his colleagues, and their recommendation is to keep it as it is.
So,
Uh-oh.
no, they're not recommending anything. They're
Okay.
just,
Tell me what to do.
I'll put it that way.
Okay,
What they said was,
okay,
if you
Change it.
don't make any changes to it, it won't be reviewed. If you strike it, it won't be reviewed, but if you start making changes to the language, then it will be reviewed, and you want to make sure that, because we're talking about boundaries and all of that stuff, that how you determine accuracies and all that can be problematic.
Most of the charters I've looked at included the old boundaries.
They either put them in, or they just repealed it altogether.
Most of them
okay,
kept it.
So I would suggest that we don't
we
touch it.
just don't
and
touch
leave
it.
I think we should keep it, get rid of all that purple and just.
I will.
leave it.
Do we put anything in here about the fact that we're keeping it as is? So
No,
not to
that-
rubble and
That'll,
shuffle?
they'll figure that out.
Okay, just, well, okay.
Well, you mean.
Keep
put-
original, I'm just gonna put keep original.
I suppose you could put no change or keep original.
Yeah, keep original. But we
Yeah,
have to
that
be
way
able
people know we didn't
to,
change
we
it.
have to be able to explain what Mike just said.
Well, we can,
No.
Mike can do that.
We don't.
Well, I mean, I think if we just say keep
I don't think anybody's gonna
original,
care, to be honest with you.
Okay.
then if somebody comes to like one of the meetings or something and says, you know, this should be updated, we can say at that point, you know, what Mike said, and if nobody has a problem with it, you know. then we
So,
don't.
so on the other ones,
What
we
do
just,
you want?
same thing here,
Okay,
it's just smaller print.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm
All right.
not blind. So where you,
yeah,
yeah, so where you put 2, it says keep,
yeah.
and then the next one says keep original, why don't we just?
Well, because those, number 2 is that transitional stuff in there, and we can't get rid of it, right, Mike? It's gotta stay in
Yeah.
there. It's,
Okay.
everybody's charter has these
All
in
right,
them.
as long as we're consistent. and
Yeah.
We're keeping
Anytime
original.
it's- yeah.
Yeah.
Same words.
So you want to
Okay.
add original to keep, John?
Huh?
Did you want to add original to keep?
We'll add it
No.
to,
Section 2?
No,
it's in there now. Okay,
no.
4. Oh, yes.
Form of government.
Form of government, so everything in blue we've added. And so the explanation on this, it was just form of qualifications and now, or voter qualifications. And now we have form of government and voter qualifications. I put in here, the form of government was added to this section in order to align the updates to reflect the council dash manager form of government that allows for a checks and balance between the mayor, the city council, and the city manager. I put that as an explanation as to why this was changed.
That's fine with me.
And then, but here's the part I didn't know what to do. Mike, so we're section 4, when we put an A, B, C underneath, does it have to say 4A, 4B? I can get rid of those the 4s?
Yeah. I'm just,
My formatting
But,
is not good, I know. Oh, I think I figured it out.
I'm just wondering, does form of government and voter qualification fit together.
Not really, well, so what's your proposal?
Split it out.
Well, yeah,
Just-
leave 4 as voter qualification.
You have
and
to
then-
strike out, because that's what it says now, so. Right?
No,
No.
Well, what does it say?
it just
Well,
says
there isn't.
voter qualifications. The
It's just voter
qualification of a
qualification.
voter in city meeting shall be the same as the required of voters in the county.
So did we put that in for anywhere, or did?
I think we just shoehorned it in. It's been
Yeah.
a while, so I don't quite
It did.
remember how we came
Yeah,
to that.
B is unless otherwise provided by law, the qualifications of the city voter in the city meetings, but,
And do you notice,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you notice in B, the part that is not highlighted, that's the original.
Right.
right.
So
So
should
let's keep
we,
it. That's fine. The form of government and is new. The voter qualification was already there.
so what Mike is saying is, should they be one section or should that be split out?
Should they be
So we
separate
have
sections, or do you want to keep
section
them as
4,
one?
section 5.
I don't care.
I don't care either. What's, what are the powers to be gonna say? Okay, can we, or maybe,
I mean-
maybe our lawyers are gonna have a say on this. Let's just leave it. All right, so there's nothing yellow here. Thank goodness. Section 5, this is warning and convening of the annual meeting. I put, this needed to be rewritten and updated to read more clearly. Call a special meeting. The 25 legal voters was updated to 50 registered voters to reflect the number of voters today. The 25 legal voters in the current charter was determined in 1918. Just added that in there so that people would know the conversation we had.
And the comment you're gonna get is the population of Newport 1918 might have been more than it is.
It was more.
So I would not put today the number of potential voters.
Okay, so what do you want me to say?
That's
Call a special meeting was updated to 50 registered voters,
reflect the number
Period.
of potential
I
voters.
just leave it at 25.
Period.
I know,
and then get rid of to reflect the number of voters today.
no,
Yeah, 25, okay. And then there's our work, and underneath it is the is what the original was. So
But I-
people can,
yeah, but to comment of the
the purple,
The number of city residents in 1918 was probably higher,
it was.
The
I
demographic.
just-
but it was before suffrage. So
It
that
was
means
before what?
suffrage.
oh, yeah.
So that
true.
means women didn't have the
Women
right to
can vote.
vote,
Correct.
right? So your legal voters
Which is why
would
we
be,
doubled it.
could be much lower.
That's why we.
That's why we
That's
doubled
why
it.
we,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Well,
why.
and I
population.
think we just don't know, because I think we don't know if the census numbers that Travis pulled included heads of household, which would have been
Right.
men, which would have been
Sure.
voters, or if it included
Just know
women as
that
well. We just don't know.
the only
Right.
reason I put these purple in is for the public, as
Right.
they're looking this over, to know what our conversations were.
Right.
As well as a trigger for us if we have to defend anything here, or
exactly.
explaining. That's the only reason the purple's in
Yeah.
there,
But that's why I think it's important for all of us
to know that, to remember that.
Yeah.
Good point.
But you also added, the section that Travis added, which is that really that the petition only applies, when the vacancy occurs in the last, half.
Yeah, no, that's not this section. This section is called the warning and convening of the annual meeting.
It's just a
That's
couple
another
special
section.
meetings. Yeah.
I know this is hard because I don't have it on.
Okay, that's good.
That's good,
That's
no
good.
yellow there. I struck, so on number 6, the election of officers at the annual meeting, we added to that title and recall of officers because there was no recall, remember? Now on 6A, I'll go through and get rid of these on my, at home, not to waste our time. On 6A, in yellow, it says, and 3 grand jurors. I'll confess that I originally got rid of that yellow and just struck it out, and then I said I didn't really have the authority to do that, so I'm back here with us.
And I haven't had time since our last meeting to try to get a hold of the state's attorney again.
Okay,
for
so-
clarification.
You know what?
There's not anywhere in the state that has that.
Nowhere. Everybody's got rid of it.
So,
And if I mean,
I
I looked at
did
something.
look too, like
And
you
they
did.
said effectively, because of, everybody has their own prosecutor, this is effectively been obsolete anyways.
And I would say strike it except for the
And
fact that
nobody ever
she
runs
said-
for it.
I'm gonna strike it, and if she's got real good reasons as to why it should come back in, we can discuss it.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm getting rid of another yellow, thank the good Lord
you
there.
just get rid of it. Yeah.
Okay. Now moving down to 6C, that whole thing's in yellow because we wanted to make sure everything was covered after we had been through.
For the school board.
Right.
This one says, this is 6C that we were just talking about. The city council may appoint an eligible person to fill a vacancy in an elective city office, including the board of school trustees pursuant to section 39, until the next annual meeting. If the vacancy occurs with more than 1/2 of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, a special city meeting to fill the vacancy may be called upon petition of 25 registered voters. The city council's appointee shall serve until a successor is elected at such special meeting or at the next annual meeting, whichever occurs first. Are we okay with that now?
So that's where the 25 stays.
What happens if it's before?
I thought it was, if it was before, we were just calling an election. And
That's
if it was
right.
after, then
What's
it
that?
had to be, if it's,
Okay, I'm good.
if more than half of the term is,
Remaining
Is
before the
remaining.
next annual meeting,
then,
a special city meeting to fill the vacancy may be called.
If
It
it's
says
before.
Shall be called.
Oh geez, there's that word.
yeah, it's the shall.
shall.
I never
See what
had,
you started? That's okay. It's okay.
I never knew such power with two little words.
It's legislative 101.
So it does say that. So if
Yeah,
it's
so
before
it's there.
that, you should have a special meeting automatic. If you don't, it can be called, so they can still claim they're gonna appoint somebody, but before they do, somebody, 25, a petition comes.
Or they can
And
appoint somebody.
25, they can't do it.
They can appoint somebody, but as soon as they get the petition, they have to call the election.
Yeah.
So that appointee can
Yeah.
fill the gap.
So I think that's all good, right?
So we okay with that now?
Just on yellow then.
Okay, oh my goodness, we're getting rid of another
Oh, we're actually making progress. It's been a long process.
one. Okay, now we are under section 6D.
I don't know if that's what we said. I'm reading it over and over.
Yeah.
but I
Well, I think it is.
What do
Can
you
you
mean?
read it aloud, Travis, again, slowly?
The city council may appoint an eligible person to fill a vacancy in an elected city office, including the board of school trustees. She has the pursuant part, I don't have it.
To section 39.
Until the next annual meeting. If the vacancy occurs with more than 1/2 of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, a special city meeting to fill the vacancy, the one I have says may be called.
Shall be
It
called.
shall be called, but then it says upon petition of 25 registered voters.
Okay, that's what I said.
Right. I thought that what we had agreed upon was, that's just a shall be called. If it's less time remaining, if it's 3 months, then the council will appoint, and they don't have to call a meeting, but if it's petitioned, then they will call a vote.
Yeah, I'm confused, and I have to read that.
Well,
myself.
no, so this was why it was in yellow, is because we were going back and forth on this point. Does it need, is there, can we foresee an instance where the city council appoints somebody and everybody loves the appointment and we don't need to pay for the expense of a special election? But then if people hate the appointment, 25 people sign a petition, and then then we have to call a special election.
Yeah, and I think there was words in there about we had to have a petition in within 30 or 60 days
Yes.
of the appointment.
Wait a
So
second.
that language disappeared.
Well, no,
Wait,
that
no.
was just for the school. The
No.
30 and 60,
Yeah.
we never talked
Hold on,
about
wait
the
a
time
minute, that's
period.
6D.
It was that on yellow chalk.
It's 6D.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So 6C was just talking about that. Now
60
6D
is a
says,
recall though.
But this is recall.
oh, that's recall, sorry.
So like maybe,
That's where your 60 days and all that came in, was when we were talking about the
No,
recall.
we were talking about it up front.
Yeah. And we've done it in practice.
So really what we want to say is that
What state statute?
I think Travis also said at that point, he thought it was an important enough thing so that there should be an election.
So I can fix
That's
it.
why it was all yellow.
I can fix this with one word.
I doubt it.
Charlie,
You have
let's hear
little
it.
faith. So, it says, if the vacancy occurs with more than one half of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, a special meeting to fill a vacancy shall be called unless, upon petition of 25 registered voters, the city council's appointees, the city council shall, so it's gonna be more than one vote.
Wait, unless upon
I want my
petition,
25 cents.
wait a minute, unless upon petition of 25 registered voters, period, the city council's appointee shall serve until a successor is elected at such special meeting. Okay, so tell me again the issue.
Yeah, so you wanted to establish a situation where the person appointed by the council would not get to serve would not get to serve more than his 2 or 3 months until the election occurred. That an election would automatically occur if there was, going to be 1 year and 9 months left, for instance, of the person's, that was how much vacancy you
That we
have.
should default to elections instead of appointments, whenever possible. And
Right.
so if there's a long period of time left in a term, but the person's gone, then we should just hold an election.
That was your
That was my
argument.
point.
Which is,
But
which
if
is
it's
what
a
the
short-
first part says.
But if it's a short period of time, then we'll let them
That's why we were
serve
putting that
unless
in.
there's a
So
petition.
you could put upon,
Wait, tell me where you are.
well, after you're saying, that they're gonna hold a special election if it's more than
There was a real.
half the term. So then, we can put, after that, the city council, the city council, otherwise, otherwise, the city council shall appoint,
I see
That's
what
why
you're
it's
Unless-
yellow. We got a rabbit hole.
unless
and this is for towns.
upon, unless a petition is filed. That's what you're trying to
I
say.
see what it is.
Yeah.
The problem is the sentence that we have existing. If you just change with more than one half to less than one half, then that sentence is correct. They'll appoint, and if it's less than a half, the appointment can stand unless there's a petition, and then we call an election. We've seen a sentence before that saying, if it's more than a half,
Okay,
an
dictate.
election shall be called.
Start at the
So
beginning.
If
The city start at the beginning.
everything is good until.
Council may elect an eligible person to fill a
Go ahead,
vacancy
Jim.
in the elective city office, including school.
The school board trustees pursuant to
Yeah.
until the next
If-
annual meeting. If this is a new sentence, if the vacancy occurs with more than one half of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, a special meeting to fill the vacancy shall be called, period. And then the second sentence.
Shall be called, period. Wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then the sentence that exists, if the vacancy occurs with change more to less than one half of the time remaining, then we keep everything the way it was.
so it's just a repeat of that same sentence,
Yeah, it may be called upon the petition of 25 registered
copying the
voters.
same sentence, I'm
Right.
putting it right here. And now I'm changing the more to less.
Yep,
A special city meeting to fill the vacancy shall be called, period.
may, in that case, it's a may.
No. You get a petition, it's a shall.
Yeah.
No, but it's a may be called, no, you're right.
You got it,
Shall
it
be
shall be
called
called.
upon petition, you're right, yeah,
Shall be called
sorry.
But
unless on.
just, this is none of my business, but that's another
Stop.
subject. you run into the problem of the time between the petition and vote. For example, there are 2 months left in the term, and the council takes hallucinogens and appoints me to fill the vacancy. This would clearly present a good reason to have a petition of 25 people, but the question of whether it is possible.
There's a time
It would
hold.
be pointless.
So
Yeah.
failing a petition of 25 people within
No,
so
no,
many days.
Well, no, but if you have the petition and there isn't enough time to call the meeting, so you
Okay.
just have, so the shall is gotta be modified at some point. So in other words, that there has to be enough time legally to call the meeting.
But there would be an
So
election
after-
anyway in that case.
After the 25
There would be,
voters,
Yeah.
but not necessarily as fast as you want to get rid of it.
Comma,
provided the election can be held within the limits of the term in question. That may be bad wording, but that's what he's saying. If you can't call an election and hold it by the time that person's
Then it's
term
pointless.
is up, then why do it?
Well, that's why we're saying half the term. With half the term.
yeah, I was
you
just
know,
gonna say, that's,
Well, the half
That
the-
covers it.
But if it's less than half the term, it could be 10 months, and there's plenty of time to get an election within 10 months. It's less than half the term, so they can petition at that point. But if you're 30 days from the end of the term, there's no point in getting a petition, you can't have the election.
Well, we wouldn't probably file a petition, we wouldn't get a petition.
Right.
And the reality is, you wouldn't want, it's moot because there will be an election anyway.
Right.
An election is coming.
And there was a real.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what did you wanna?
Just the term should only be till the next annual meeting, therefore none of this should go past 1 year.
Right.
Right.
So you've got a window of potentially less than
Okay,
6
that
months
says
or more
annual.
than 6
You
months.
also have a little bit
It
problem
says
with this
annual.
word. So
I don't know about it.
let's say so if it's more than half the term remaining, you have to have a special meeting, so we're good with that. If it's less, and we're talking about a petition, we need to put, if there is no petition of 25, in other words, let's say the council the next day appoints somebody and you guys don't like it, so then you go out, well, they've already appointed
Right.
for the 25, so maybe that petition requirement should be within a certain amount of days after the vacancy.
I thought we had that in there.
I don't see it in there.
I don't see it either.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that, in other words,
We
council
talked
has
about
to
all
wait
this, but-
to give, it's kind of like a permit, you know?
Right.
We can appoint it, but you've got a permit period where you give the people a right to petition. If they don't, then you can just appoint.
There have been two
I don't know how to word
occasions in the last 5 years for the petition. The first one was when a mayor was driven out of town by council and city manager behaviour. What the council at that point wanted to do was appoint. We got a petition to stay a town member. The second time was when a council member was elected as mayor, which vacated that seat.
Yeah.
The council at that point, led by the mayor, and new council appointees wanted to appoint. And again, we had the petition there really fast.
They appointed.
They did appoint in the interim, and that person did actually get elected. But that was also a way of loading the decks, and that was
Right.
a concern. And that's the important.
Because the current charter gives them permission to
Yes.
appoint.
Yes.
So if we're gonna put the 25 in there, we have to give, there has to be from the day of vacancy to the appointment, there has to be a waiting period in there
Yes.
that allows the people time to petition. So if you put
Oh,
unless,
No, because the person appointed will serve until the election.
No. I mean,
Yes.
we got the petition together within 2 days for the when it was a mayor who stepped down to the seat and became mayor. But they had still, in the interim, in those 60 days, appointed somebody. And
We're
that-
talking for the
Okay,
less than half time.
Okay, so-
Yeah,
so what's the proposal here as to,
It's just a reword.
okay, so how?
yeah.
New Year.
Maybe we reached it.
Do you want, let's just try to figure out this one yellow, and then that's going to, there's only,
There's only
not a
few-
whole
there's
lot
only
of
a
other
few.
yellows
We've
on
got a
here.
half an hour. Maybe
And one
we
other
can
thing,
get
do
to
you
it.
want to call it a special meeting, which is the old term that was used for it, or do you want to call it a special election?
Oh,
I think we probably want to call it a special election
Election.
because I've been reading the state statute and what it says about vacancies, and they call it a special election.
special
Did they say
election.
anything about a petition in any of that?
Not
Thank you for that.
really.
That's-
So what they say is that when there is a vacancy, notice of the vacancy must be posted within 10 days of the vacancy in at least 2 public places. In the event that there are so many vacancies on the legislative body that a quorum cannot be achieved, they can still make payments. The legislative body of a county, municipality, or special purpose district may designate a person to perform the duties of an officer whose duties have been suspended as a condition of release pending trial, so that's specifically for crimes, somebody going to trial. When a municipal officer refuses or neglects within 30 days of election to take an oath, that becomes vacant. Then it says a town at a special meeting may fill a vacancy in a town office. But then after that, this is hard, they do actually call it both a special election and a special meeting. So they say a town at a special meeting may fill a vacancy. I'm assuming that they mean an election there, but it's not clear.
Well, we can put in election.
But
because
then,
that's what it is.
after that, it says, when a vacancy occurs in any town office, the select board forthwith, by appointment in writing, shall fill such vacancy until an election is had. Except that in the event of vacancies, a majority of the select board at the same time. Such vacancies shall be filled by a special town meeting called for that purpose.
Okay, go back to that first, where it said a special meeting, until a special meeting. So if we put that wording in there, until a signed petition of 25 voters calls for a special election, in that second half.
When a vacancy occurs in any town office, the select board forthwith, by appointment in writing, shall fill such vacancy until an election is had. That part.
Can we read what we've
Yeah,
got here?
unless,
And I think
Petition.
we've got this. The city council may appoint an eligible person to fill a vacancy in an elective city office, including the board of trustees pursuant to section 39, until the next annual meeting. If the vacancy occurs with more than 1/2 of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, a special city election to fill the vacancy shall be called. Period. If the vacancy occurs with less than 1/2 of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, a special city election to fill the vacancy shall be called unless upon petition of 25 registered voters. No. Registered voters, provided the election can be held within the limits, well, I just put limits, I didn't know what to put there.
because you're saying a
Cities-
special election shall be called.
That's not right.
and then
If the
unless
vacancy occurs with less than
Yeah.
1/2 of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, what happens then?
We called a special election. We did the petition.
With less than half the time?
No,
It's either
because
an
there was
appointment
1 year
or
left.
that.
A special city, well then what's the difference between more than or half then?
There
If
should be an option of citizens calling for an election, no matter what.
If the vacancy occurs with more than 1/2
Yeah.
of the
Not
time
on the
remaining
you have to have a special.
It's automatic.
It's automatic.
Yes.
Special-
But it
The
should.
Get
second
that word
part is
shall there?
dealing with less than.
With more than one half.
You might wanna break it
Jennifer.
out.
But the council can, the citizens can request a special meeting anytime.
Anytime, that's what I'm
So
getting at.
I don't even know why
That
you're
takes-
putting it in there.
That takes more people to, that,
Yes,
that takes
exactly.
more
Yes,
people.
that's more people.
Okay, then why not change it down? Because isn't it confusing to have the 50 and the 25?
Yeah.
Go for one or the other.
Wow.
But
The-
so the argument where we came up with the 50 versus 25, I remember why we did that. And the idea was that 50 for other things that you would call a special, that you would petition for.
Big deals.
50 more commonly reflected the spirit of the charter as it was written, taking into account things like suffragism and just the amount of people voting. But for this very important, case of a vacancy, which we determined should be even more important and more, maybe there's like more,
If the vacancy occurs with
Easy
less
for people
than
to
one
call.
half of the time remaining.
we would leave that as 25 because people felt so strongly that they should be able to easily call a petition in that case.
Okay.
That was the rationale.
Yeah, I
But
understand
if
that.
less
Now,
than
here,
city
just
council
throw Bailey
shall
away.
appoint
So how many special meetings will you call to fill the school board vacancy?
Petition by, but it's gotta be, you gotta have a time frame.
Nobody's run.
Probably because most people don't even know.
Hopefully they vote and know there was nobody running.
I know what we wanted to say, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to word it.
Good luck, Charlie.
That's long, but take a look at it.
Well, so as we have it written now, it would be the city, like, let's say that this charter, as we're writing it now, as we have it written now, goes into effect before the school board gets up to how many people they're supposed to have. Then the city council would appoint someone, and well, I guess it would just depend on where we are within their terms, which I don't know what their term limits look like, or their term.
There are no limits, but if
Not
they're
limits.
elected for 2 years,
Okay.
and using the example I gave, somebody vacated his seat, leaving a year, and they wanted to appoint somebody to fill that seat, which would have changed the composition significantly of the council in a way that may not have been, in a way that the voters agreed. Therefore, it was really important to have an election for that seat.
But to Jennifer's question of how many special elections do you call, I mean, I think if the voters feel a need to call a special election, it would be one. It would be one special election. They would call it, they would elect somebody or vote to keep that person in, that appointed person in. And then that would be that until that term was official.
But what I'm saying is, right now, you have nobody running for the school trustees, so you hold a special election to fill the vacancy,
Well, no,
and
so
nobody
they-
runs.
I think, am I wrong in
yeah,
thinking
they
it would
will.
be an appointment?
Hmm?
Am I wrong in thinking that the city council would appoint him?
Well, you're getting into conflict, because you have appointing, and then you've got this whole thing about they can appoint only to a certain time, and then it has to be a special election.
Right.
How about if we say this? If the vacancy occurs with less than one half of the time remaining before the next annual meeting, the city council may appoint a person to the vacancy unless upon petition of 25 registered voters, a special, there will be a special election to fill the vacancy.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Special election should be called, period, finish, end of statement.
And you don't need the less than one half or,
Yeah.
you just,
If the vacancy occurs with less than half of the time remaining before the next annual, say, if the city council may appoint a person to the vacancy unless upon petition of 25 registered voters, then a special election to fill the vacancy shall be called. Period, right?
A petition,
Well, you've already, so at the top, you've already said that the council can appoint.
No.
Council may appoint an eligible
Unless.
person to
they
fill
can
the
appoint
vacancy.
unless nobody petitions.
Right.
Right, which is fine. That's great.
Yeah,
Okay, so you don't even need all this half stuff.
No.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay. Jesus.
So the council can appoint.
Can you read the whole thing?
Just,
Keep it simple. Because we are.
What about the more then?
I don't think we need any of that. 1 minute, 1 minute.
well, you can still petition. The only
Before or
difference
after
that,
We don't have to petition, and we Travis.
it was automatic that we were
It's
gonna do it if
automatic.
it was more, and that's where we're getting into
The
this.
city council may
Quagmire.
appoint an eligible person to fill a vacancy in an elective city office, including the board of school trustees pursuant to until the next annual meeting.
It should be
Period.
until the next annual meeting or a special election. is
Well,
called.
or the next sentence says the city, oh jeez.
Because the reality is, whenever a special election is called, any of the candidates that are, the candidacies that are vacant can then be elected during that period. As soon as
Right
it's
here.
a special election for anything, then there can be, that can include the school trustees.
Yeah, so it would be until the next special or annual meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or upon the petition of.
Well, then you have, upon the petition of 25 voters, then the special meeting will be held or special election. I think you cover everything. It's basically
What we're
back-
trying to do is
back
say,
to where it
if
was
it's
originally.
more than half the term left, you automatically have a special. If it's less,
But
then they can appoint unless,
And the only
but
reason.
your bar is so low,
Yeah. It is.
with getting 25 registered voters to sign a petition,
yeah,
I don't know why you need to have it automatic. It's not hard to go out and get 25 voters to call for a special election, under any circumstance.
When we first discussed this, it was
It
a
would
fairly
make it
contentious issue, and the reason I put that forward was to give more erring on the side of elected officials should be elected and not. If everybody's happy with the bar is low, they have to petition no matter what.
which is why we lower it to 25.
Okay.
But I recall, I think we were talking at one point of 150
Yeah,
voter
and that's
petition,
when-
right?
Yeah,
I mean, if
That's
your
hard.
bar is as low as 25, it's not hard to go out there and get 25 voters.
And this is just for vacancy. This isn't
Right.
for
Right.
trying to throw someone out. This
Right.
is for a vacancy.
Right.
So now it reads, the city council may appoint an eligible person to fill a vacancy in an elective city office, including the board of school directors pursuant to section 39, until the next annual meeting or election is held.
Special election.
Okay? I'll get that.
Well, your
Upon
language was-
petition of 25 registered voters, a special election to fill the vacancy shall be called. Done.
Yeah.
So I think we need to say next annual meeting or special meeting is held.
Special meeting,
Yeah.
not election?
Well,
Language
it's
consistent.
annual election or special election or annual meeting or
Exactly.
special meeting, whichever way you want to put it.
Yeah, it is held.
Generally, the language is special meeting or annual.
Okay.
So, I don't wanna make either of you uncomfortable, but I'm just, you were, as far as I know, fairly instrumental in campaigning against the old charter that died. I
We
just have a
been-
question.
We have been given that credit.
Okay, then maybe
And we
not.
have been told that we are unilaterally responsible for the charter going down.
Well, I'm not saying.
You opened up a can of
I'm
worms
not
here.
saying that.
Powerful. Wow.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying
We
is
voted
if
against it.
If you opposed
Charlie,
it
so
before,
that-
sure. If you opposed it before, you're some of
You're
the
laughing,
only
she's not.
representative, sorry. If you opposed it before, you're the only representatives of the townspeople here besides Jennifer. Are you happy with,
You
well, we are here. We
He's
are
I
here.
oppose it
defender,
also.
yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
so
right.
are, but I
That's
just
what
wanna
she's
ask,
getting at.
are you happy with that language? Because the whole point in going the other direction was to find compromise and something that we all agreed on. So I don't wanna stop on this if y'all are,
I'm okay
Yeah.
with the way it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
All good.
yeah.
You are?
You're willing to give up the automatic election for the
25.
If we can
First
do a
one.
petition with 25.
five, is,
Absolutely.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
That's what all we wanted to begin
Yeah,
with.
so we
You
can
gave
do
us
it
a
for
little
all,
more.
any appointment, and then we don't have to have all this.
Yeah.
Can I delete them?
I just don't want all this work to be for naught. So if there's stuff that we could hash out,
You
now, I'd
know,
rather
Travis,
hash it.
You may think that we have horns and
No, I
God
don't.
knows what else, and that we can part friggin' waters, and
Not at all.
everybody else in Newport will follow what we do. I actually haven't noticed that that's true. Have
It's
you?
gone.
No.
It's gone.
I just wanted to make
Okay,
sure
it's
that you
gone.
were happy. with
Okay,
that.
so how does it read now?
How does what?
Everything's up to, okay, I'm not gonna, until the next annual meeting or special election is held. Upon petition of 25 registered voters, a special election to fill the vacancy, I don't know if it's shall or may, be
Shall.
called.
Shall.
Shall be called. The
Yes.
city council's appointee appointee or elected official, we need to put that in there, shall serve until a successor is,
No,
No.
this is just the
You don't
appointee.
need that.
the city council's appointee shall serve until a successor is elected at such special election or at the annual meeting, whichever occurs first. Do we need that?
No,
Gone.
you got it the first time.
Okay, so it's very short now.
Yeah.
Good.
Travis, you're also assuming that we're the only ones on Charlie that voted no, and I wouldn't think that's true.
No, it's a huge margin. Don't get me wrong, I
Okay.
didn't want to leave the topic without making sure that
The
it was
next,
good language.
the next piece in yellow is part D, number 3. And part D is any elected official of the city may be recalled from office as follows. And we agreed to table this. The official shall be removed only if at least as many registered voters of the city vote as voted in the election within the officer was elected and a majority of that number vote for removal.
I did
How would you ever
provide
figure
the,
that out?
well, I provided the research for that. It was basically just the last election data back to March 2021. Can we get copies of it? So
You sent us.
Oh, did I? So the highest was the
Seems like
general
7
election in
months.
2024. It was 1,900 people roughly.
Yeah.
The lowest turnout were bond votes, council vacancies, 243, 235, very low margin. So there is a point that if the councilman, the alderman was elected during a general election, the turnout would be so high compared to.
It's unrealistic.
Why did we put that in? I'm just curious.
That was language that was in the failed charter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it makes it hard, it's almost impossible to get 450 signatures, which we would probably need for 15%.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna say that the election's no good because we didn't get 1,900 voters to
And
come.
it could be one,
I
and it
personally
could be
would
one
just soon
less.
delete this section,
Me too.
or I just soon take this out.
Me too.
Yeah.
Others? Because we've got a big red part here coming up.
Wasn't that just because of our questions about the city of Winooski? If we liked what they had done?
No.
This is for
forfeiture
recall.
I don't.
This
I
is
mean, I understand this is simply for recall.
The red
It's not
part, the
for-
red part isn't as bad as it looks. It's
Okay.
basically, it probably shouldn't have even been in red.
So if you change the color, it'll be okay.
Probably. I was a little alarmed by it too, and then I read it and I was like, no.
I won't be
I think I was
obstructionist.
the one that did it.
I won't be obstructionist on this, but I will say, if we don't put anything in, it seems like a small group of interested people could make changes, because the whole reason people don't show up to votes is because they're fine with the way things are going. The more people dislike something, want to do a recall, the higher your turnout is to get that done. And I think there does need to be a bar. I don't think it needs to be the bar we have set right now.
But does it need to be in a charter?
Well, yeah, because that's the only place
Yeah.
that rule would exist.
Well, that's where you raised it to 15% instead of 5.
So that's the petition. But I don't know, if they call a special election and the only people that show up are the 25 people that sign the
And then the
petition.
rest of them don't really support the person
No, but
that's being
no,
recalled. if they don't go and
15%,
vote for it.
right, 15% have to show up.
For
Well,
recall-
No, that's
oh, 50
that's for the
For the
petition.
petition, I'm sorry, I did say 25. If the 15% are the only ones that,
Show up to vote,
I mean, I guess.
and I guess the rest of the people don't care. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
You know.
Well, I mean,
But how can you,
if you have a petition to recall someone from the city council or
yeah,
another position, that's gonna be pretty good fodder for reporting.
yeah.
And I think it's going to be out there, and I think if that person seems to be being persecuted, then it will draw people out to vote for them. And if the person, if there is a real issue and that person shouldn't be there, it's going to bring people out to vote. I think one way or the other, people are going to be voting.
So
So
just strike it, no bar.
I don't think that, I
Okay.
mean, you've got a high bar at 15%.
Sure, to get the petition.
I think that maybe what you want to say is that you might want to make sure that at least 15% of the voters are coming, that sign the petition, right? Are the same, that you have the same amount of votes. So if it's 450, then you have to have 450 voters coming out. I don't know what 15% of Newport's.
If I was saying it was about 450.
You know
Because
what
I
I'm
think
saying?
5% has been traditionally.
I think if you can get 15% of it,
Yeah, it's hard to get,
I just think
I mean, you want a high
people
bar
are
to
gonna,
recall
people are gonna
someone.
show up. And the problem I have with that wording is, so let's say the prior election had 500 people show up, and the next one has 499, and you just spent a whole bunch of money for an election,
No,
and
I
it's invalidated
agree.
for one vote, you know, I don't know how you make people interested enough to go out and vote. I don't know how you do that. And I'm thinking if you stay home, then that means you don't care.
And you can't complain.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So we're good with striking it, don't we?
I mean, I don't think there's ever been a recall in the city.
So we're gonna let the petition be the limiting factor.
I'm okay with it.
Strike it, okay.
Okay, it's coming out. Go on. Now 4 is now gonna be 3. Okay. Here's the red part. Note from 7:20 meeting. Do we want a forfeiture or removal clause like Winooski's in our charter to provide for issues like misappropriation of funds? The city of Winooski
If-
has forfeiture of an officer. A counselor shall forfeit office if at any time during the term of office the counselor, 1, lacks any qualification of the office prescribed by this charter or by law, violates any express prohibition of this charter, is convicted of any felon or misdemeanor involving the affairs or property of the city, fails to attend 3 consecutive irregular meetings of the council without being excused by the council, or violates an express conflict of interest prohibition. That's what Winooski has, and that's where we left our meeting that day. Personally, I think that we have bonding in our charter for a reason, and insurance, and if a person is most of these, you're not gonna get bonded or be able to get insurance.
Sharon, I
Yeah.
hate to drag us back, but 4 in the previous section Does that still comport with what we agreed upon in 6C?
If the city votes for removal of an elected officer, the office shall thereupon become vacant, and the city council shall call for an election to replace a vacancy in office.
Because we have rules about replacing the vacancy here. Should it just say replace the vacancy, you know, based on the stipulations of 6C?
You're talking about 6D?
Yeah, 6D,
So if
it's
it becomes a
recalled.
vacancy, we already have
We don't need that.
provisions for how to fill
That's what I'm
it.
saying. 4 seems to be, we either need to
I don't
refer back
see
to,
4. So,
after 3, after the one that we just got rid of.
Oh, maybe he's back up on 6. Up on 6D,
6D.
an elected
number 4.
officer of the city may be recalled from office as follows. We talked about
So-
15%. We talked about special meetings to be held within 60 days of receiving the petition. And then we got rid of that clause, the yellow, about, and then the last one is, if the city votes for removal of an elected office, the office shall thereupon become vacant, and the city council shall
Oh,
call
I
for
see
an
what you mean.
election to replace a
But
vacancy
should
in
it
office.
say-
Why don't we just stop
should-
at vacant with a
should-
period?
Well, I was going to, can fill the vacancy pursuant to section 6C.
Just add pursuant to.
Because that's the governing bit that's going to see it, to decide how we fill
So
it.
my question is, do we need to do that? Because once it becomes vacant, we have a section in our charter.
Yeah, why do we need to
How
add
we
anything
handle
to that?
vacancies.
We don't have to put that in, but
We
we at
just
least
stop
have to
at
call,
vacant.
yeah, we have to at least stop it vacant.
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, on to Windows.
So, I don't think anybody, so as I remember this meeting, I feel like this might have been the meeting that Sharon wasn't here. I don't quite
Yeah, I
remember.
don't remember.
I don't
Putting
remember.
this
So
red
this
in
is-
here.
I don't remember it either.
I do, so I do, because I go look at it either. So it was at the very end of the meeting, somebody said, well, what if somebody does, misappropriates funds? That was the question that we were addressing. And we were tying the meeting up, and
I was not here.
And I said, it looks like
I've never
the
seen
only charter that I could find at the time that handled a forfeiture of office, handled like just kicking somebody out for misappropriating funds, was Winooski had a clause saying that you didn't need to call a special election if somebody misappropriated funds or did something that was, the charter said they weren't supposed to do, they would just get the boot. But I had to leave and I was the note taker. And I said, I have to go now. I'll put this here and we can come back to it.
We
never
were
did.
talking about indebtedness,
Yeah.
because it was that part in the indebtedness that if you violate this,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even misappropriation, it was just putting the city in debt without
It was
authorization.
I don't think
signing
we
a
need any
warrant.
of this.
So that's all it's there for,
Okay.
and we just need to decide if we care about any of that or not. We can delete it, it's not a problem, but that's why it's there. And why I chose red was, I think, just so that we didn't.
Oh,
forget
I
to
know
come
why
back to
you,
it.
okay. I don't think
I
we
would-
need it.
I would think all of this would be handled by the vote. We recall.
By above when we recall.
Well, what about just, let's take the easiest one. A councilman decides he's not going to resign, but he's not going to show up. So he doesn't show up for 4 meetings. And he doesn't offer any excuse, and he probably isn't, he or she, isn't in communication, he can't even reach them. Should that councilman remain on the council? Or do you want an automatic way of saying, if you don't show up for whatever you want to call it, 10 meetings?
We've got that under city council stuff.
Do you? I don't think so.
Because it's not even one.
We do.
And this happens all the time in Texas. The legislators, if one side, or it's usually one
They
side,
leave,
not the other,
go
they'll
to-
leave the state
Go to
Yeah.
Wyoming.
because
or
it,
something,
it- and then everything stops. And so if 3 councilmen say, man, you know, or 2 councilmen, whatever it is,
City manager's
it
gonna-
violates the form, they leave and they just won't attend, and everything grinds to a halt. You gotta have something for that, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yes,
the
just one.
federal
one about
government doesn't, because they do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Texas.
So that's a
public
simple
safety.
one
One
that
of
you
our
might want to
representatives
address.
did that, she skipped, and continue.
And then you'll have to go through the others again, because I can't, I don't remember
Okay.
everything. But that one is one you might have.
The one that says lacks any qualification for the office prescribed by this charter. That doesn't apply to us, does it? Haven't we talked about that he
Qualifications are very
qualified?
We don't know
They're-
what
they're both-
qualifications
You're
are.
elected.
Huh?
You know,
Someone moving out of
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Leaving
you.
the town, leaving.
Yeah.
town. If someone moved out of town.
Yeah, then they don't qualify anymore, because
Yeah,
that
that's true.
is stated, you have to be a resident. How about violates any express prohibition of this charter?
Well, that's hard, because who decides they violated it? Does the rest of the council?
Is convicted of any felony or a misdemeanor involving the affairs or properties of the city.
That should be fair,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
I
you.
think. I think that should be in there.
Bond is voting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you say that should go? Underneath, any elected officer of the city may be recalled from office as follows, so that should become a number 4.
Well, so we're talking about something a little different than recall.
It's removed.
We're talking about forfeiture.
Yes.
So maybe that should be it.
And
6E should be forfeiture and
I
removal.
agree with you, yeah.
Well, you get election of officers, recall of officers, forfeiture of officers.
And there are, you expressed 4 grounds, I believe. We talked about 3. What was the 4th? Oh, something about
Conflict of
code of
interest.
ethics.
Conflict of
Violates
interest.
an
Hold on,
express
hold on, hold on.
conflict of interest.
So what is this called, forfeiture of office, is that what it's called? What do you want it to be
Yeah,
called?
forfeiture of
Or,
office, I think.
or removal.
Well, forfeiture and removal, because they would forfeit it by doing whatever they did, and then you.
And the council would remove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops, that's not spelled right.
It'd be forfeiture and removal. Or removal.
Shall be, not may, right?
Forfeiture is if,
I'm just putting this here now, you guys can do it.
Yeah, the only one that seems
well, if
sticky.
they forfeit, then they're doing it.
Mhm.
And
By
then that's a
the-
vacancy, so we already covered that.
Yes.
Removal, we're talking about removing, not forfeiting.
Well, these actions that they perform, yes, they forfeit by performing any of these acts that are outlined.
All right, so like
And
not
then-
showing up, moving
Yeah.
out of town, blah, 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 okay.
And then we have to.
So forfeiture or removal and removal.
And the only one that seems sticky to me is number 2, violates any express prohibition in this charter, which on its face, it sounds really great, but who decides that they violated that express prohibition, like the indebtedness? Like, you gotta have somebody who decides that.
I think you're gonna have somebody deciding all of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, the crime, convicted of a crime, that's easy, the courts do that for you. If they don't attend meetings, that's self-evident, if they,
Yeah, but you still should have, like the rest of the council says,
Right.
yeah.
you have the evidence and you have to have a finding.
I
So
wonder
as-
if they need this room, because it's new.
Probably.
And what isn't outlined in here is any kind of due process for this. Even if that process is vested with the council, it doesn't say there has to be a public hearing, evidence has to be provided, there's,
The new supervisor, and maybe you can take a look at that.
Let me see. I don't think so, but let me check.
Now we're gonna get this.
oh, and Dennis is back.
Dennis knew.
Unfortunately, we're still here.
I've been back for a while.
Just hiding.
I see what you're rewriting, but if they're convicted of a felony, so they raped somebody, is that reason to get rid of them?
I would imagine
Because this
they would miss a lot
hold
of
on.
meetings if that
This
was the
says,
case.
I think
Any
we have a hard time
convicted of any felony
assigned to-
or misdemeanor involving the affairs or property of the city. Well, that doesn't involve the affairs or property of the
So
city.
you've robbed the bank, you think you should still be sitting there?
No, I'm
Yeah, but that's where the
saying,
recall provision.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
then you're on your recall stuff, right?
Yeah.
But an elected, I just took some of these words. An elected officer shall be removed from office if they are convicted of any felony or a misdemeanor involving the affairs or property of the city, comma, fails to attend 3 consecutive council meetings
But is this just for council?
without being excused by the
Said
counselor.
elected official.
Oh, yeah, so, do we even need any of this?
Well, how are you gonna remove him if he moves out of town? And how are you gonna remove him if he doesn't, attend?
You know, I mean, we could do it, but just put an elected official
I
shall
don't
be
think it's
removed
elected officials though.
if they
because-
are convicted of any felony,
So-
comma,
Is it an elected, who, is it an elected official?
No, I think it's councilmen, because they're the ones that have to attend the meetings. I mean, you don't have to attend the meetings if you're the fire chief.
What section are we
elected.
under?
it's not elected.
What are we
No,
under?
that's the point.
We
The
are
only
under
elected people are
Yeah.
council and school. board.
elections of officers at annual meetings. That's what we're under.
Mhm.
Well, the school trustees are elected.
Mhm.
Do they have to attend the council meetings?
No, but they need to attend their own
No
meetings.
meetings.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I mean,
Just
we have to
take
get
out the
to-
word council then, without being excused by,
Council was, again, this is just because this is what Winooski has. This language that we're using now is specifically
for
copy
Winooski.
pasted for Winooski.
Right, but she's rewriting.
Yeah.
So if you say an elected, I'm looking at what she's rewriting.
Yeah.
It was. An elected official shall be removed from office if they are convicted of any felony. I would put a comma there. A misdemeanor involving affairs of property or city. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, because if you don't put that comma in there,
Can
then
you
it
put
has to
or?
be a felony that involves affairs of the property of the city.
And can you end it with, or fails to attend 3 consecutive meetings without being excused by their respective boards, or without being excused, period?
What about things like harassment and bullying?
Well-
Which have got people removed in other towns. Sexual harassment certainly has.
Yeah, but there's laws on that.
I was gonna say, that needs to be followed up as a crime, and then if they're
They
convicted.
gotta be convicted first.
Yeah.
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 I'm sure.
Are we okay with that? Is there more that we should add there? Are we okay with that? Can
I
we
just
delete the
think-
red?
He had
Two
moved
is
out of
sticky.
town. Moved out of town's a good reason.
Well, that's
Yeah.
attending 3 consecutive,
No,
oh.
no,
Oh,
they
oh,
have to
oh,
do it.
oh, okay.
That's one, lacks any qualification as prescribed.
Yeah.
If they no, what is it? If they, I deleted that, sorry, if they lack,
Lack any qualification for the office prescribed by this charter or by law. Which is just voter in the
that's
city.
true, yeah, that's above,
Yeah.
comma, are convicted of a felony. Or-
Yeah, space there.
Misdemeanor involving affairs of or property of the city, comma, or fails to attend 3 consecutive meetings without being excused, period. Can we do that?
I think because you're using the comma with felony and misdemeanor, you can use semicolons to separate the bigger.
Semicolon
Semicolon where?
after felony?
Lacks a qualification, semicolon, convicted of felony, comma, or misdemeanor involving city property, semicolon.
Yeah,
fails to
I'm
attend.
a math teacher, not a math English.
Are there any felonies that you can think of that would not really disqualify an elected official.
Dennis, you got something to say?
That would really would have
DW.
relevance.
DWI,
One second.
Pardon?
DWI is a felony.
It didn't disqualify
I thought it
somebody
was
that
a-
did it.
Twice.
No, I thought that was a
That's right.
misdemeanor.
Huh?
I thought in Pennsylvania it was a
Well, in
misdemeanor.
Vermont, it's often a felony. You can't go into Canada if you have a
Oh,
DWI.
hang on, are we saying that convicted at any point disqualifies them?
Any
Or are we
felony.
saying
No.
a
Any
felony
felony.
while in office?
Travis, we had somebody who was.
Yeah, but no, this is while in office, removed
Okay.
from office.
Yeah.
Removed from office, that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
Yes, but you have to specify that you're talking about it occurring during the term of their office.
Well, that's what it says. An elected official shall be
Oh, it
removed
says it right
from
there.
office if.
At any time during the term of office,
Okay,
Removed from office if any time.
if at any time during the
If
term,
at any time
during the term of office.
during the term of office, they
So,
they lack any qualifications of this charter, semicolon.
That is, I'm
No,
sorry,
so
but
you-
that is not a second.
I didn't think so either.
Is it not?
It's just a comma.
It's,
You wanna,
it's a comma.
you wanna set it up like you did under D. So
So,
you-
should
any
we
elected
enlist the,
official, blah, blah, blah.
okay,
One,
yeah,
two,
yeah,
three.
yeah,
during, they
otherwise you end up with a
Mhm.
sentence.
shall be removed from office if at any time during their term of office. Is that where I'm gonna
Yeah,
split it?
yeah.
Now I'm gonna put that, and then I'm gonna go like that, and we have a 1. We have a 2. We have a 3. And I need to clean that up.
what were the other ones that were possible? The code of ethics, it said something about that.
What it has in Winooski's is.
Violates an express
Any
con.
qualification, they violate a qualification, they violate any express prohibition in the charter, they're convicted of any felony or a misdemeanor involving the affairs of property of the city, they fail to attend 3 consecutive regular meetings, or they violate a conflict of interest prohibition.
So DWI, because I got thinking about that.
I'm sorry.
So if somebody gets convicted of DWI, do they get booted out? And it's a misdemeanor. The first 2 are misdemeanors in the state of Vermont, then it becomes a felony.
Oh, it does eventually become a felony.
Yeah.
Third.
Third is a felony.
Third and consecutive.
If DUI with injury or death is a felony.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's.
So just being, point
Plain-
nine,
a plain-
point 9 is not a removal for office because
Okay, so back to this. Express, violates an express conflict of interest prohibition.
That would be hard to prove. The other ones are pretty easy, right?
Yeah,
You've got a conviction, you've got a 3 times absent, you've got a,
thank you,
I
Jim.
mean, we do say up there that they can't benefit and blah, 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 but it doesn't say what the result is if they do.
Mhm.
So maybe that does need to be looked into somewhat.
What?
In other words,
What?
the city council cannot, or mayor can't vote on something that's gonna
benefit his
benefit
family.
themselves. If they do that, can they be removed? Yeah.
Just curious, the other provisions seem to be self-enforcing, the court will determine if you be convicted of a felony,
Right.
if you no longer live in the city, you no
Yeah.
longer live in the city. Conflict of interest is going to require some kind of process because it's an easy charge to make, but removing someone from office.
And I-
Is that something that you want to do?
I
Two
think-
is the
Probably not.
same.
I think
That's a
for
good point.
Newski specifically, probably, I don't know, because I haven't looked at all of the Newski's charter, but I think they likely have conflict of interest prohibitions spelled out, like it's, and we don't in our charter have really anything on
You don't,
conflict of
but you have
interest.
policy.
So why don't we just keep
So
what
if the
we've
city
got?
has-
I
the
think
city
it's-
might
I
have-
think we keep what we've got.
Delete, delete everything in red, so we're good to go.
Yeah,
I think that, yeah.
okay, guys,
Yeah.
so,
But you can have the conflict of interest policy that the council
But do,
adopted,
here's the deal.
and then if you violate
No,
that.
no, no. Dennis?
I hate to be picky about words and whatever, but
That's
on
okay.
number one, they lack any qualification of this charter. What do you mean by they lack any qualification of the charter? If
They-
they are lacking anything, would
They-
that
they-
be done
they
during the
move-
vetting?
They move out of town. If they move out of the city, then they're not, they have to be removed from office. If they lived in Newport when they were first became a member, but then they moved to Charleston, they still can't be on our council.
Okay, so that being a lack after they've been vetted and gotten the position.
This whole
Okay.
section is shall be removed from office if at any time during the term of office, and then those four things.
Okay, because I was just concerned about the word lack,
Yeah,
if it was prior to their,
Right.
no,
that
this
wouldn't
is
be.
during.
okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Okay, it's time to stop.
I agree. I actually have to leave too.
We are on number 7, and we are simply going through now and getting rid of the yellows that we tabled for, and there's not very many more. And meanwhile, I'm still gonna get this up on the website. Right. And with all my little notes here.
So,
Put a big disclaimer on the top that indicates it's really just,
Work in
work in
Yeah, see
progress.
how I got it?
That
What
we
it
really
says.
want a lot of input.
That's gonna be in red,
yeah. It says
to prepare for when we have a community
great
forum.
big red
Yeah.
working
It'll be
document.
even bigger. My
So
font's
that people
only
aren't
6.
fearful that, you know,
Right,
this
this
will
is
be
it.
the end
Yeah,
of
I'll
it.
put it in 24 or 25 print.
So, next meeting,
Okay,
I can't, the next week I can't.
and I'm out of town. You guys wanna run it? Why don't we skip the first week,
I think we had discussed this way back,
way back?
that both of us were gonna
Yeah,
have a
so-
conversation next week, so.
So that means we will not have a meeting the
So the
first Monday and Wednesday of August, and our next meeting will be
The 10th.
Monday, the 10th.
Okay.
Maybe we aren't gonna need a 12th,
Right.
and
So, I think what we.
you're gonna have to start doing the baking, Ann. Help
So,
yourselves to food.
If I knew you were coming, I'd.
so for everybody's homework, so we come prepared, we've got the ones in yellow, review it, get a mindset on it so you know when we get there and we're not, you know, review the document and say, okay, I see problems, this and that, because this basically is a completed document other than those things.
At this
And you
point-
may want to look at what was proposed
Right.
and see if there's anything in there
That we should include.
that maybe we should include.
I know
And if
that
we can,
there's
if we can get to,
Harbor Commission.
the Harbor Commission would be one, yeah.
Are we
So-
looking at term limits?
We have discussed that,
Oh,
yeah, but
We
we
didn't make it.
didn't get too far on it.
I'll be very honest, I've polled a lot of people,
mhm,
and I gotta know.
okay.
But I have talked about it with a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it as long as it was
But it's still up for
10
discussion.
years or so, yeah.
And the reason they say no is anybody has the right to run against an official if they think they've been in there too long or they don't like them. That's what I got. I mean, agreed or not, I'm just telling you that's what I got.
But I do think be prepared to discuss it, because
Sorry, Dan.
I do think, come prepared to discuss it more because we've discussed it, but we haven't made any decisions on it.
And I put it in the old document as to discuss.
Yeah.
terms.
So we're
But
gonna,
that'd be under the what we don't have now.
we're going to look at all the yellows that are in here. I'm also going to put it up.
There aren't that many.
No, there's not. I will put it up on the website, the strike out version.
Will you be updating both versions in parallel?
I will do that now. I'll do that
Awesome.
And
tomorrow.
you were going to encourage everybody to come to the next meeting and tell them when the next meeting is, when you put that up on the website, so that
Yeah.
you can get some fresh input.
Maybe also
Well,
add
and-
something the papers could.
And it'll also be here for, when we have our public
But
forum.
we'd like to get it completed before we have a public hearing.
Yeah.
Well, you're not gonna, are you gonna have a public hearing, or is those
The
the
council
two?
has
The council has.
Well,
a
yeah,
public-
but I'm
Yeah.
assuming we're gonna be
Oh, we'll be
the
here.
ones in the hot seat. for that.
Yeah, but I would think you'd want more input from other people, once they've seen what it looks like.
Well, that's
Well,
when the input
So we
will
reached,
happen,
we
right?
reached out to the
Isn't that when
press
it does
telling
happen?
them this is going on, so I'm assuming probably why Joe was here.
Yeah, Joe, what do you think of all this?
Action and blood.
Where on the website is this going to
I don't know.
It will go on the front.
It'll be on the front page. If you keep scrolling towards the
Yeah.
bottom, it says events. I'm assuming that's where she'll put it.
be? Okay, so
It
you're
will
an
go-
event, okay.
No, it will go above events, and that's where the previous proposed charter was.
It'll be on the front page somewhere.
And are there minutes?
There are videos.
Great.
And NEK-TV,
NEK-TV's
For
does.
you.
No,
it.
no, that-
no, but they have posted,
It's on YouTube.
they have posted most
No,
of
no,
it.
that part I could figure out, I just didn't know whether someone was also taking
Because the
minutes.
owl
Great.
is, yeah, this is
Well,
just for the.
Yeah.
Well, the notes have been condensed into a document, so yeah, they have taken.
Well, we've been,
Well-
any work we've been doing, we've been,
Lengthy notes.
yeah.
So
Tell me about it.
can we call them?
They have work.
Let's call this meeting adjourned. Okay,
Okay,
Dennis?